Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome, everybody, to a Tuesday, October stream. It is 12:40 p.m. Eastern. It is, as I say, October 12th, 2021, in the year of our Lord, etc., etc. And it is time for day 29 of Adventures in Middle-earth, Erebor Adventures. That's right. We have returned to Middle-earth, Erebor Adventures, to Dungeons Deep. And I am very excited because we got a big old combat today we got to work through, people. A big old combat and a lot of stuff that we got to do. So I hope everyone is ready. I hope you got your inspirations chambered and ready. I hope you have your, orc and goblin, kicking boots on. And I hope you're ready to see what these folks do as we challenge them for the right to have their captive, specifically Domi, the Dwarven Scholar, and find out what it is that Domi has been seeking. But before I get to any of that, and also High Effect Life, and I wanted to say I saw the message you sent in Discord. I'll try to get to it sometime today. I'm still playing catch up on trying to catch up with everything, including a bunch of stuff. So I will get to it, and I haven't forgotten it. So as I mentioned that, and I make one little adjustment there to Twitch chat, lovely. I am going to say welcome to everybody, and I'm going to remind all of you about ways that you can support the channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow us here on the channel. Please check out our YouTube at !ArvTube. That is really important because we're trying to get these subscription numbers to that YouTube channel up. If I can get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm right now sitting about 784, 785, something like that. If I can get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll be able to do some things with that channel that will give me some flexibility. So please consider going over there to sub to the YouTube channel. That would be much appreciated. If you haven't already done so, please consider checking out as well our Discord channel with !ArvCord, where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. !ArvTweets is my Twitter, where you can see when I'll always post when I'm going live or when there's various things going on, so you'll want to check that out. And of course, at the website for all of that is arvaneleron.com. On the financial side, !ArvShop is the merchandise area where you can get stuff for Infinity and Beyond, Adventures in Middle-earth, and soon to be Esper Genesis stuff there as well. That supports the channel, as does the Patreon, which you can access with !ArvTreon. We are sitting at 22 patrons, $2.18 per month. Really does make a difference, that channel backing, and so please consider jumping on board if you haven't already done so. You can also get inspirations to help our players, and you can get, of course, stuff for you, an epic character background written about you, an epic poem written about you, a copy of one of my band's albums, even a writing critique. So various things that you can get, and the channel can get as we move towards another Arvanaut Idol contest, a talisman tournament, and so on. So all of that stuff would be much appreciated. And if you haven't already done so, you can also, of course, subscribe to the channel, which will allow you to get those custom sub badges and emotes that you can use everywhere across Twitch. And also, you can get inspirations to help our players as well. So that is all good stuff, and I hope you will consider doing that too. Finally, on the publishing side, !Icarus for my Icarus graphic novel from Athos Arts, award-winning graphic novel from Athos Arts. Library for Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure sourcebook from the amazing Alligator Alley Entertainment, which is now out in print form for Kickstarter backers and is available at some of your friendly local game stores. It will be made available to the general public in print form probably in another 6 weeks to 2 months or so. But in the meantime, of course, you can also get it digitally by checking out that link, which Arudinel was kind enough to post just now. And of course, Grayshade KS, my Grayshade Kickstarter. I hope to have more details about that soon as I continue to assemble the team and put together what I think is going to be a really good Kickstarter. And that's why, there's been a little bit of delay, because we want to make sure that it's as good as we want it to be. So that's coming soon. And as always, BLM, Black Lives Matter, very important to assert and affirm the significance and importance of Black lives. Please check out that link because, again, extremely important to connect there. And Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others when they need help and to reach out to others when you need help as well. Quick note on schedule. We've got Erebor Adventures going on today, right now. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern, I will be over on the channel on GOG.com, where I will be doing the next session of Talisman Adventures, sponsored by Pegasus Spiele, and that will be the Talisman Adventures game with the Toads and Diamonds campaign. So that's what's going to be coming up next. Very excited for that part of the adventure. In fact, both this one that we've got now and Toads and Diamonds has got some serious stuff that's coming down the pike, so you will not want to miss either one of those. So that'll be happening coming up at 4 p.m. Then tomorrow, of course, we have Community D&D with the Shadow Crew. That's coming at you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be off Thursday, and then Friday I got some Espergenesis coming at you, and that campaign is off the chain at this point. That thing has gone super, super well. Very excited for that next session. Remember, we have a new player now, Saladin Ahmed, who has joined us. So we have a crew of 5 now for that campaign. So that's happening this Friday. And then on Saturday, we have got the Forgotten Library conclusion. That should be an hour or 2. And if I have any time left over, I will dive back into Mask of the Betrayer. My goal is to get Neverwinter Nights 2, Mask of the Betrayer done, and then move into Metroid Dread, which, yes, I am very excited to be playing. So that's what we've got schedule-wise. That's what we're looking at. Also, Soundclash the Clampdown has been canceled for October. However, it will be back in November, and we have officially confirmed the 4th player. So we have a 4th player coming back into the mix, and they will be joining that campaign in November. So you will not want to miss that. It's going to be good times. All right, with all that said, the time has come for us to get back into this amazing campaign, and so I'm going to jump in here and apologize for interrupting whoever I may have interrupted. And then I'm going to unmute these lovely people. And then I'm going to head on over to reveal, to reveal the amazing crew you see before you. It is the Adventures of Middle-earth crew. And also, I'll just make a little note that I just happen to, put on a certain cap of a team that may or may not have gotten to the American League Championship Series that was expected to finish 4th in their division and somehow won 3-1. And so they're the first team in the playoffs to reach the Championship Series. And, I don't know what that team is, but I just had this feeling that maybe there might be a way to kind of consider the different options of what that is. If you're curious about what I'm talking about, I urge you to go to YouTube and to look up the song Tessie, and then play Tessie at very, very loud decibels, and you'll get a sense of what it's like to be a Red Sox fan these days. Moving on, it's great to see this crew of players before me.
Arv is, of course, talking about his Blazeball team.
Yes.
That's what the B stands for, Blazeball.
Yeah, I was, the thing is I didn't actually know what the Boston Red Sox's logo was. I thought every time I see you wearing
socks,
that,
This is not. This is just a B, but they also have 2 Red Sox with a bat down. Is there?
See, that makes more sense. I kept looking at that B and going Bjorning or B as
or Boom. Or Brad. Maybe I'm just supporting Brad.
You just stolen my hat at Gen Con.
Yeah. Oh man, Brad or Bolo or
So wait, who's in the finals right now?
So it's so the Boston.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, hey, listen, somebody does. I do, and I'm glad you asked him, Al. It's the Boston Red Sox who are in the American League Championship Series after having defeated the Tampa Bay Rays, who I was reliably told were a far better team, and the Red Sox had no chance against them. That's a shame. I look forward to
the American League. Oh well.
Yes.
What sport?
Anyway, so I have enjoyed very much doing some grading while watching some baseballs go over the wall hit by my team. It's been a joy. Anyway, but moving on to this wonderful crew. It is, of course, the focus must not be on the Red Sox. The focus must be on this crew, the Anduinats. And I will start, as per usual, with the gentleman who is super awake. He's very, very clearly very awake. And is ready to go, and actually has done several laps just while we were in the call, just ran around his room in excitement. And that, of course, is one Mr. Trendon Sparks. Trendon, it's good to see you. I hope you can kind of dial back the energy level, though. I mean, we want to kind of balance it.
I absolutely can.
I will light a calming candle in honor of Tawny Bear. And as well,
but do you want to calm him down? Don't you want an excitement candle or something
You have a little honey.
No, because as you said, he's way too excited.
No.
He should be calmed down.
Yes.
Excitement candle is when you use exact same candle, but light it under somebody instead of.
That's an excitement. Yes, that's true. That will true. Set a man on fire and they'll be warm for life. Yes, that's very true. My boy Pratchett. Anyway, Trent, how you doing? How's life and who are you playing today?
Yeah, well, speaking of representing a team, I'm actually representing a team that is actually relevant to what we're freaking doing.
Hey, listen, I'm with you on that.
I don't know how this works when you push it on the outside of my headphones. Yeah, I'm really, really sleepy. Now that I have gotten my the pronunciation guidance sheet back that I need, I can actually start recording the audiobook that I was supposed to turn in on the 1st. So now I can actually start it and do that thing. So that means switching my sleep schedule to nocturnal, which means that I would normally not be awake right now.
Oh.
So as soon as we're done, if not maybe a bit before, I will probably clock the hell out. If you happen to see me with my head on my keyboard or basically just not in frame anymore, yeah, I'm probably asleep. And just whatever you do, don't go, Train, wake up, because that'll just get incorporated into my dream and I'll just start dreaming about somebody
You'll go
saying my
one
name.
level lower.
Right. Yeah.
And then one
exactly.
level lower.
Right.
It's like Inception. So you're not,
Mhm.
we're not
Yeah,
going to see
yeah,
you for
yeah, yeah.
another.
Should we spin a
50
top
years.
and or should we yell it was a dream? It's a dream, like into
No,
your
it'll still get incorporated into the dream. No. What you could do though is that little handle on the side of my chair that makes it raise and lower. It's all the way up. So if you just pull that little handle and I go, the drop will probably wait. That'll work.
Great. Okay.
Those never happen around here. Yeah. So I'm playing this guy who likes bees and
Bees.
Bees.
baking. Like,
Does Tani ever go berserk?
He did
Not yet.
once.
well, he used to. He used to.
Does he still?
Yeah, because I think it was at the Gloomy Fold, right? He
Yep.
he went a little bit batshit there.
Yep.
Yeah, because
He attacked River.
Well, that's true. That's true because 3 days of running.
We were exhausted.
We've
And we
been-
didn't know that we didn't know that reed mace was just cattails.
Yeah.
So we kept looking for reed mace in like places that were not rivers. It's just like, oh, for goodness sake. Anyway,
Arudinel suggests that we get you a Bluetooth remote share with a remote trigger so I can wake you up, which is frankly far too much power to put in the hands of any one person. Because what's going to happen is it'll be fine, right? And then my son will show up. My son will be like, Daddy, this is, and then there will be like basically as Trent's bouncing around, it'll be like, I see that Mini-Arv has gotten the remote again.
Like that scene with Dr. Evil. I need a young priest and an old priest.
Yeah.
As his chair's going berserk. Right. So I'm playing Thane Tawny Bear, the Hearthmender, dwarf friend.
Wow, you need to be asleep more often. You got that right the first time.
No, I didn't. That was the 8th time I've done that this morning.
Okay, all right.
I was rehearsing, and actually I had like 3 other titles, like host of Hide and Herd, and all sorts of other things that I was going to add onto the end of it, and then I subsequently forgot until just now. But yeah, he was a berserker and at the Battle of 5 Armies and got kicked out by everybody. And I mean, when the enemy is like, get out of here, we don't want to fight you because you're messing shit up, and your friends are like, get out of here, we don't want to fight you, you're messing shit up. Yeah, it's a bad thing.
Mhm.
But now he's a healer. He is a master healer, and yeah, he does stuff that helps Brad.
Oh, yeah.
Transition.
Yes.
It was so smooth.
Yeah,
I know.
It was completely seamless. Thanks, Trent. Always a pleasure, and also a pleasure, of course, to have the aforementioned Brad with us playing. Well, I'll let him tell you what we're playing, what he's playing. How you doing, Brad? I heard a rumor that you're almost 2/3 of the way to your desk performance, your new standing desk glory, and I'm curious if you're feeling like 2/3 happy about that, or like how far happy are you about this, and who are you playing?
I always feel very incomplete, when I feel like I've started something and it's not done yet, and I can't do that until the stuff arrives.
Right.
So I ordered this standing desk, which I'm really looking forward to. I have not. I got my setup here in college, like right at the tail end of college, and I've had it forever, and it's been great. But I've heard a lot about standing desks. I do want to try them, and so that's on the way. And I've done like an office remodel, which is about 4/5 done at this point. So that's coming today. So that's my mini project after the game is done to get that all set up. And then Reese, my son, gets my old desk, because right now he's just on this like simple white folding table in his room. So he'll get an upgrade too.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's good. And I'm work-wise, writing-wise, like I'm at a break point finally. I've this year just like low key because I've been at home for so long. The pandemic has not bothered me a lot, but of course it does, and it's this creeping effect, right?
Yeah.
Some people it hits harder, some people less so, but it's just always here, right? And we've been staying home more. We decided not to go out to certain places, visit people, because we want to lower risk for ourselves and for them, and so on and so forth. And so I just feel like I need a break. I'm mentally exhausted after just months of really, very few breaks, trying to get the book ready for December, some other projects. So I'm in staycation mode. I'm redoing the office. I'm getting ready for the kitchen update and stuff like that. And doing stuff like this, hanging out with friends. So I am playing Bolo Brastuk, an exciting, well, he's not so excitable anymore. I used to say that. He is now.
That's so sad. He's no longer excitable. He's just. Oh man.
Well, similar to Bilbo's arc, he's feeling the weight of the world.
Yes.
Slowly pressing down on him. And maybe one day when he gets back to the Shire after his adventures, he'll find that spark again. But it's weighing on him a bit. So he's a treasure hunter, and he believes he's about to go into a place that will weigh on him even more heavily than it has before. But right now, presently, we have a certain fight to deal with.
Yes, and that's true. If you get through it, then may have to go into a place that will weigh heavily, but we will see. It's just more uplifting every second. We'll see how this all goes. But I'm very glad to have Brad with us. I'm also glad, of course, to have for a second Tuesday in a row my good friend Terry Tunes, who is hanging with us and is ready to bring her unique brand of awesomeness to the dwarven rage that I have no doubt is about to happen to these orcs, goblins, etc. That stand in her way. See, she's making fun of me because I can't roll R's, and so she's been making fun of me since my life.
Even on purpose,
and I'm just like, all right, fine. Yeah, go ahead, roll your R's some more. Make me feel worse. That's fine.
Yarr!
Whatever. No, but it's awesome to have Terry with us. Terry, how are you? How's life in the universe, and who are you playing? Oh, thank you. Wait, first of all, thank you to Triffid Mets for the resub of 19 months. Thank you, Triffid. 19 months. Wow, that is amazing. Thank you, Triffid, so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, so how are you doing, Terry? How's life, and who are you playing today?
I'm doing good, just drawing a lot the past few days. I did the horrible mistake of watching the new My Little Pony movie, and I had a horrible relapse. Where I then had to just draw ponies for days on end. So that's a thing that happens. For those who don't know, I used to draw a lot of ponies in my day, and then kind of faded out of the fandom and everything. But then Netflix Germany got the movie.
Because I was going to say, I saw a lot of ponies on your Twitter feed as of late.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Thing is, I don't post everything I draw online. So you don't want to know what my sketchbook looks like right now. But yeah, anyway. Oh, look at the desk.
Look, the desk.
The aforementioned box has arrived.
The
so
desk
I'll see
has
you
arrived
guys in about an hour and a half.
That'd be great. We'll just be yelling from off camera. Bolo will take his, That's funny.
Wonderful.
If you're clanking and thudding, don't mind me.
I know. By the way, that it's interesting that you've got your information so you can create a standing desk for a player playing Bolo. Like, I'm just saying, I'm not saying there's art imitating life, but just like, I'm standing, all right?
It doesn't go down very much at all.
It's just a tiny.
No. Oh,
it's like about this much.
It's actually one of those Japanese floor tables where you sit on the floor to sit on.
Yes, yeah.
But like the Bolo standard is a standing table.
Oh, wow. All of a sudden, Bolo becomes like a gnome size. Like, wait a minute, I'm a little taller than that. Anyway, but so you've been doing the sketching of the ponies and such, Terry.
Yes, and also know that Tren is back. Fun fact about Berserkers, there is an actual historical case to be made about Berserkers being historical furries. So that's a thing.
Wait, did I come back to Berserkers are historical furries?
There is, like, we don't know for a fact, but like there are basically two theories, because we have like troubles translating the word for Berserker. Like either it means like literally bear, or it means bear as in like not wearing clothes. So either they fought naked or they fought dressed up as bears.
Or they were naked bears of sorry.
And of course,
could
and it
also
treads
be.
like, I see no problem with either of these concerns. I'm
Yes.
I would say I have no notes, but I have at least one.
Oh God, column
That's
in,
why I
column
waited
B.
with that little tidbit
Yeah.
until Trent got back. So yeah, when I'm not drawing ponies, I'm also really into early medieval history and stuff like that. Anyway, I am playing Thane Inge Homefinder, daughter of Ida, Council of Dine II. She is a dwarven wanderer, a stonemason, a clan chief, and oh yeah, she is a dwarf of the Erebor specifically, not to be confused with the dwarves of the Iron Hills or whatever. And she also has a trusty pony sidekick named Lilleman.
You know, eventually you're all...
Not a My Little Pony. He's a regular pony.
He's a regular pony. Well, I was going to say
He's a
eventually
pony
that you and him and River are going to have to start giving Lillimon and Stone, you know, Pony of the Highlands, blah 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 blah. Like you're going to have to start adding titles, right? Like, you know, Dog of the Wood of the, you know, the Wood of the Merc, not Merc, you know, like, and the Woodsman Glory of the Joy of the biting of destructive creatures, you know, whatever. Like you got to come up with these titles. So
okay, but
Lillimon's
like
going
if
to get
it's
one.
Lilleman of the Highlands, that means that he is like unkillable, right?
Lilliman of the Vulnerable Belly.
There can only be one.
There can only be one.
Lillimon of the Vulnerable Legs. I'll just keep that in
No.
mind and like,
No.
no, damn it.
No.
But no, it's a pleasure to have Terry with us, and I look forward to seeing how Inga manages things today. And I also look forward to seeing how Amal, who is with us, is going to handle things today. I look forward to whatever title you come up with. Stone the nearly invincible, except for one particular area towards the back of his neck on the left side, or something.
Oh
You know,
my
some
god!
title like that. You know, and like
Every
Stone.
time she
Yeah.
goes to say invincible, then like nothing, like she says nothing, and just like the word invincible goes over the screen.
Right.
Then there's blood splatters.
Right. Every time I'll just have a little like stinger that I can hit, like invincible. Anyway, but how are you, Amal? How's life and the universe with you? And who are you playing today?
I am okay, thank you. The weather here is in the kind of like echo summer situation of being quite warm and nice and stuff. And it was just Canadian Thanksgiving, so I got to hang out with my family, which was really, really nice. Lots of like post Panini pandemic, but Panini firsts and stuff, and getting to be under the same roof again and stuff. So that was really nice. So yeah, I'm sleepy today, but in a kind of pleasant and restored way, somewhat. So yeah, I am playing a woodsman of Rosgobel called the River, and she is a fighty bard, essentially a warden. A little hampered in her fighty bardness, in as much as she is currently capital M miserable, which means that she has disadvantage on attack rolls and also automatically fails charisma checks, which is great for a bard who fights. But anyway, so she and her faithful Hand of Mirkwood Stone are about to enter into a dicey situation, or have already entered into a literal dicey situation.
Well, I was going to say, dice will be
Many
rolled.
dice
Yes.
are going to need to be
Yes.
rolled here, I think. I am extremely happy that it's a new month, that inspirations have been replenished.
Yes.
I'm feeling, as it were, inspired by this fact, by the newness of the month, the October of it all. So, yeah, here's hoping.
Octoberosity, if you will.
The Octoberosity. Yeah. Nice. Octoberosity. That sounds awesome.
Isn't it Anne of Green Gables who's like, I'm so happy to live in a world with Octobers or something like that? It's just a beautiful time. Beautiful time.
I like that the two options we have are that very gentle, kindly put thing, or the World Wrestling Federation Octoberosity. Like, are those the versions?
Oh, is it from? Oh, whoops! I
No,
thought
it's
that was
not.
just
It's
like
not.
the-
I'm just saying, like,
Oh.
that's like in my head growing up with like
It should
4
be.
channels, one of which was USA. They were always like SmackDown, Destroy, Punch Face. Like there were all these kinds of things. So Octoberosity, I think,
Punch
is quite
In
fits
the House of Elrond. It's
Yeah.
October the 24th, if you want to know.
Oh man. See, now what you need to do is just continue to say that entire dialogue in exactly that voice, and I'll be good. That's you want to talk about
Does that mean
ASMR.
the Roman Empire
I'll speak to
existed
that
in Middle Earth?
Or it was the 8th month, like it's supposed to be.
Yes. I only just saw
if it is the
Ardenal.
Acorns.
I just saw Ardenal saying that you need some d6s that are just R on all 6 sides,
So
and
that
then
I
you
can
roll your R's.
roll my
I was
Rs.
like, sorry if you've commented on that when I wasn't in the room. I felt like it was too good and needed to just comment on it.
That's quality. That's quality. Definitely, I can roll ours. And my Spooptober bloodlust has depleted your inspirations already. Well, listen, I mean, part of that. Listen, I saw you use part of that. You have to talk to Brandon O'Brien about that. Okay, that's partly Blades in the Dark problem. You know, that's the Spooptober bloodlust, etc. that we're talking about. But anyway, it is a. Oh yeah, remind me of this. So this is like
This
yeah.
is something I bought from the Royal Canadian Mint, which has Her Majesty on one side, and on the back side it has a werewolf from their. Yeah, it's from their Creatures of the North.
Oh, yeah, it has nothing to do with the royal house being all werewolves. No.
Right, no, nothing at all.
Nothing to do with that.
But
No.
yeah, it's a 20-ounce silver coin that I.
Nice.
Reason number 7 million why Canada is a better country than the United
That I
States. The
purchased
fact that they
two
have
of.
werewolves on their coins instead of, you know, freaking
Yeah, but
eagles
like it's
clutching
also
guns.
the
and,
monarchy technically, so that makes it worse again.
well, listen, everyone has their
hardcore
problems.
anti-monarchies, by the way.
Yes.
So.
But it is a great pleasure to have these wonderful people with us, and I am excited to bring them in and let us get started. Oh, yes.
One more thing that I
Yes.
actually meant to talk about all day with you guys.
Okay.
So I watched a video about where it was like a rundown of like what like different biblical angels looked like,
Okay.
and that made me
Ooh.
think about how there is like little to no description of what the Vala look like in the Silmarillion and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, who says these guys are like humanoid looking, right? Because like in all like the fan art and stuff, they're always like shown to be like vaguely humanoid. Like sometimes they are like literal waves, like Ulmo, for example. But like for the most part, like what if these things, like what if these guys look like really fucking freaky, like you know, Old Testament angels? Like what?
I
what
thought
about
there
them?
was. I thought there was some language about like the Valar making elves in their image or something like that. Am I
What does the elves look like? Totally fucked up.
Well, I suppose, but I feel like the elves are described in different places.
That's true.
They all look like
Yes.
Orlando Bloom. You know the drill. Like that's
By the
what-
Valar. They're
That's what
described
the-
as being
yeah.
beautiful
Yeah,
by
yeah.
the Valar.
That's fair. So okay, so it's a big conspiracy over the years that the Valar actually just look like, you know, beholder like Cthulhu creatures, and like
oh my
that,
God.
you know, that's just like they look beautiful to us. Bleh. You know, like just like okay.
Honestly, one of the most interesting things to me from the Silmarillion.
Eyes.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting things to me in the Silmarillion was the language that suggests that the orcs are actually like deformed, abused, twisted elves, essentially.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Which I always, you know, like it really kind of goes against the film depictions of them as like these like, I don't know, almost constructed creatures, like, you know, bred by Saruman and stuff like that, or the Uruk-hai anyway. But there's something very uncomfortable and very frightening to me about, and really like interesting in a way that I don't think a lot of media around Lord of the Rings engages with, that like that the orcs are like, you know, essentially like an embodied suffering, and like a
Yes.
and
Yes.
but yeah. Anyway, thoughts
Yeah,
for another
they're
time, because
kind-
I'm excited to kill some.
That's right. They're like an
Yay.
embodied anguish,
So-
though, I think is right. By the way, quick note, since this is a Lord of the Rings related stream, we should point out that I don't know if anyone saw the actor who tweeted out the fact that for the Amazon Lord of the Rings series that's coming up, that he is playing as he said, a black hobbit, a black halfling. He's playing one of the Harfoots, and in the lore, the Harfoots are described by Tolkien as being browner of skin and having gone off on their own at some time. And so there was this immediate, like, it was funny because it was, you know, he tweeted that out, and then the OneRing.net retweets it immediately with, before all of the clowns who don't know what they're talking about come in, here's the canon that demonstrates that in fact, halflings of color not only existed but are defined as so. So it was really funny, and so the reaction was very muted from the usual suspects. They're just kind of like, well, I mean, we'll have to see, because like Professor Tolkien basically in some form just showed up and was like, this is what I said, you know, and then they're like, all right, okay, fine. So that's great. I mean, and it's going to be set at a time different than what we're usually used to seeing. So anyway, I'm
That
excited
word of
to
God,
see
it's word of Eru.
Right. So exactly. So, but let us get into this. It is a pleasure to have these wonderful people with us, and I'm going to bring us over to a map where you're about to see. Oh my God! So many orcs and goblins and the rest
No,
of them.
we killed them while you were gone.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
There, see, clip that.
It was
Clip that.
It was a dream. It was a dream, Trent. In our last session, the Anduinats set across the Northern Dalelands and then in the Waste, trying to find the lost dwarven scholar Domi, who was supposed to have arrived to speak to King Bard a long time before and has been missing. What the party discovered is that, in fact, his caravan was ambushed, and that a bunch of these orcs, led by a small creature, probably a goblin of some kind, had these bandits, I should say, had ambushed and taken Domi with them into the Waste. And so the party tracked down, after several encounters with bed bugs and pools that created sense of despair and so forth. After fighting off a set of wolves and wargs, they were able to take one of the attendees to that, one of the attendants, I guess I should say, of the caravan, a man named Clifford, and brought him, with thanks to his guidance and the spectacular work of Inga and other guides, across into the Waste, where they discovered Domi himself digging along with 3 of the surviving dwarves from the caravan in this one strange sort of isolated area in the Waste, and had apparently unearthed some kind of tomb or catacomb or something like that. The problem was that he was surrounded by all of his guards. There were multiple people there, a bunch of these human-looking bandits and this goblin who led them, and a set of 6 orcs, hobgoblins really, that had come and was in some kind of negotiation with the goblin. And so the party decided, thinking about the best ways to manage this, that what they ought to do is cause a little bit of a rift between the two groups. And so they set up with a series of what I still to this day, and it happened a few weeks ago, to this day can't believe that this series of rolls happened the way that it did. It was just sort of like crit, 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 high roll, crit, high roll. So they basically set it up so that they made it so that the groups not only distrust each other, but are now at open war, basically, with each other by firing arrows at each other, even though, as was pointed out, the other group didn't even have arrows, but let's not let that get in the way of a good fight. So
Yeah, but I had an arrow.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
I hung on to for like real time, like over a year or something.
Yep, and used it at just the right time.
You got it just when I joined the game.
Yep, and for those of you who are always like, oh, you folks hoard too many things. This is why you hold on to stuff. You never know when you're going to need it. So, in
my defense, though, as far as hoarding goes, remember in the first or second adventure we did, where we found this apparently cursed amulet thing in some ditch in the ground in the swamp.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and Inga was like, "No, this thing is cursed." That yeets it into the swamp.
Yep. I do remember that. I do remember that. So,
what was that about anyway?
This we don't know yet.
This was 4 years ago.
Which means a hag found it, and she's gonna just show up and thank you for this necklace.
Exactly. I will now serve you and attack your enemies. No. But in any case, so there is now open combat between those two groups, which allowed the party time to head down, and through a combination of unlocking and smashing shackles, they were able to unshackle Domi and his 3 dwarven companions. Now, Domi himself is not only quite old, but is far too exhausted to be much use in combat. But his 3 companions might be able to help a little bit with the combat that is to come. And of course, we have there a group of people that have now discovered that the party is there as well. So what we have right now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 cutthroat humanoid types. We have 6 hobgoblins, and 1 hobgoblin and 1 of the bandit cutthroats has been injured, thanks to the good work of this party of the Anduinats. Then we have the goblin, and then we have the dwarves. Still, at one point, if they're ever able to get organized, this is going to be not only a target-rich environment, but a rather chaotic environment. And so we're going to see how this goes down. I am going to fire
one other
up
piece of
combat
strategery to mention.
Yes.
Is the fact that we had set ourselves up with our backs to the hole that the dwarves had just opened.
Right.
so that these guys couldn't get around behind us.
Yes, that's right. That's
And
right.
don't forget about the proximity mines that we set up
Right.
near.
Yeah, no, that part did it. There is
We
a
didn't do that in the
mine
game.
in proximity to you. I mean, like that's certainly true.
Well,
And the orbital
That
bombardment
must be what I'm
platform.
thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, right. When does
also
the
delayed
airstrike come in?
fireball.
Yeah, exactly. No, none of these things are true. What is true
Damn it.
is that it's time to fire up.
Those eagles are going to get involved in one of these fights, damn it.
You've already listened. One of the reasons that you're talking to me right now from a character point of view is because of those eagles. So in the past, they have had some success. But here we go. We're going to fire this up. And as was promised last time, let's head into some initiative, please, for everybody.
Don't forget to click your tokens before rolling.
Is initiative affected by miserable?
No. Miserable only affects attack rolls, and the charisma check is a fail.
Gotcha. Okay. Didn't need to affect it so much. Oh wait, what? Oh, sorry, I forgot to click my token. I'm so sorry.
And I did remind you.
You did. I know. I wasn't paying attention. I was bad. I was too busy looking at my sheet and thinking about being miserable.
It's such an
Anyway,
miserable.
should I roll it again?
No, I will
Leave it
add it.
on
So sorry, Brad. What?
On the character?
What?
How do I do it on the token again?
You just select the token and then hit initiative.
On your character sheet.
Yeah, on your character sheet.
Because if you don't click the token first, it doesn't add it to the turn tracker.
Right.
Also, one quick note for the miserable condition for, and I think it's both Stone and you, River, that are dealing with this. For both,
I think it's only River, isn't
no,
it?
it's Stone too. Remember, we went through this before. Stone.
Did we?
Stone, yeah. But what I wanted to mention was a miserable character can counter the effects of the miserable condition by spending inspiration. So what that does is it means that you can make a charisma ability check at disadvantage, but it's better than not being able to do it at all. And a attack roll is then just done as a flat roll. It's just done as a normal roll. So as opposed to being at disadvantage. So if you're miserable and you spend inspiration, you can then just make an attack as normal. So the inspiration counteracts the miserable condition for that one roll.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. For goodness sake. This is the price I paid for
I
trying
am-
to have a window.
I am so unbelievably offended by your auto-opening door.
It just annoys me so much. Sorry, I didn't. How does the charisma check factor into that?
So
Do you have to
no, I
spend
was just letting you know
inspiration?
that if you use inspiration, you can counteract the effect for either a single attack roll to make it just a flat roll, or you can counteract a charisma check and make it at disadvantage instead of not being able to do it at all. So if you think of it as a level, it's like charisma can be advantage, regular, disadvantage, or not at all. And so this takes you out of not at all to disadvantage, basically, for that one check that you're making. So that's something to keep in mind for inspirations. Also, I believe there were a couple of you who had inspiration, but it was not the channel kind. Tawny had it, and I think Bolo and Inga used
I
theirs.
have it too.
Okay, so yeah, I think that,
Inga used her.
That's
like
right.
I used Inga's because
Yep.
for the arrow.
so Tawny and River, you have your own inspiration, which is separate from the channel one. So
Hooray!
there you go. Hi, Big Boss.
That is very cool. I just keep sorry. The reason I keep coming back to Stone is because I keep confusing Miserable and Shadow. I know that he gained Shadow at the same time that River did.
He
and that
also
made
was
the
made
Shadow
miserable.
roll.
No, he was also made miserable. There was an effect that created misery. I don't remember what it was. If it was like bed bugs, or I don't remember what the heck it was that did it. But I definitely not only noted. I watched the video before we started, so for sure.
The fleas were exhaustion. The shadow was the pool that we found.
I see.
No, the River wasn't affected by the pool. There was something else in the desert, but it was in the waste. I'm pretty sure miserable happened in the waste. There was some option between being miserable and gaining a shadow point. But anyway.
So Triffid, and Triffid is redeemed one of the channel inspirations, so Triffid will have that to be able to use. Big Boss claims to feel inspired. That's great. Has no mechanical effect, but I'm glad you're feeling that way, Big Boss. Okay. And let me make sure I roll initiative for our dwarf friends too. Let's see.
Inga, what's your dexterity score?
Yeah, are we doing that for like going even?
For a
Because
tiebreaker,
my
yes.
dex is 14 or +2.
Okay, you go
I
first.
think Bolo's initiative is supposed to be 15 because he rolled 15 first and then he rolled again to put his initiative in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So-
Yeah. So 15. Okay. So let's see. So wow, we have all right. Because the dwarves also rolled 17, by the way.
Hey.
Okay, so let's see, and that this has Inga going first. We said ahead of Tani, or no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So move up this way. All right. So
Who needs dexterity, like, for like being a master stone crafter and, a surgeon? Don't need dexterity for that.
no, I mean, seriously,
Nah,
not important.
not important.
Okay.
Trying to remove a poison arrowhead from someone's cranium.
Tani, what's your dexterity again? This is for
12.
the tiebreaker on the other side. 12. Okay. So the dwarves will go last in that group. Okay. Bolo has got the 15. All right. River has got that 9. And Stone will go before or after her, as per usual. We can make that decision when we get there. All right. And the bad guys.
Yeah, D&D 5e is in general like very can be infuriating when it comes to anything in regards to animal companions and familiars and that kind of jazz, because it's like different turn rules for all of these, and it's like, why?
Yep. Consistency would be nice.
And then like different turn rules for like animal companions in between subclasses too. It's like looking forward to 5.5. Hopefully they will fix that.
It's going to be a good time when that happens. Okay. Inga, what's your dexterity, did you say?
14
Right, okay.
or +2. Ha ha ha.
All right. Let's see.
It was a very die-hard laugh. It was very like,
Yeah, it was just.
I have a machine gun too.
Oh no, I was doing a count.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
available
sorry.
on Amazon Prime Video now. Die Hard. It just came out. I was like, yes.
I never actually saw Die Hard. So.
Oh, it's so good.
It's a really genuinely good Christmas film.
It definitely is a good Christmas. I actually think it's the best action movie ever made. I actually think it's that good.
But I'm not into
it's
action
super
movies.
well crafted. Yeah, but you get to see Alan Rickman being a badass as
German.
as Hans Gruber
Badass German.
and a badass German.
Yeah, because those tend to be depicted great. In
Oh,
Hollywood
yeah,
movies.
absolutely.
Well, admittedly, it is true that they are he plays a bad guy. So I suppose.
Oh no, I don't
No,
mind it being bad guys. I usually mind like that it's always the same jokes. It's always the same fucking joke with like German characters in Hollywood movies. Like it's gotten better, like especially thanks to the Marvel movies, because they started to hire actually German actors, like German characters, which is
It's true.
Or Sokovian character.
also cool.
Ha! God.
I just got that.
Incredible.
Yeah, I was very confused when I wait. Which movie does he have his debut in? Winter Soldier?
Which one?
Daniel Brühl.
Civil War.
Civil
Yeah.
War. Yeah, like I saw that, was like, wait, is this character supposed to be German? They are in Berlin. But
It's as close.
why
I
is
mean,
he
they didn't want
doing,
to
like,
destroy
this
Berlin,
vaguely
though. They
Eastern
wanted to destroy them. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So let us start. We begin with Inga. So you are standing by the broken shackles of the dwarf that you just released, Inga. And there are several, cutthroat human types that are staring down at you, although there is also complete chaos in the battlefield of people fighting each other. But they definitely note you and are not happy about your presence either. So there's multiple avenues and ways to approach this, I think.
So to recap, she probably used her axe to like cut some of these shackles.
Correct.
apart,
That's what you told me. And
right?
then the
Okay,
chains were terrible, so it was not hard to do that.
Yes, and also magic axe. So she would be holding her axe, obviously. Would have put her bow away after shooting that one arrow. In that case, how far away is the first enemy?
Probably, so you're standing in the valley. I would say probably about 50 or 60 feet up on a hill, because that's where they were sort of fighting. Because if you remember, they're in this little, like, kind of depressed valley, almost, not a valley, that's way too strong, but, depression in the earth near where they were digging out this thing. So you're kind of down at the moment. Now, most of the people are not looking down at you, but there are a couple. Oh, yeah, Rudnell. I got that down, too, as well. There's going to be a lot of random die rolls to determine who they attack.
Feet?
Yes, about 60 feet.
Can I, like... Oh, yeah, I should be able to do that. I drop my axe with my free action, use my item interaction to grab my bow.
Okay.
Might just be bow. And I shoot an arrow at the dude.
Shoot the glass. Sorry.
Shoot the glass.
That's also from Die
Also a
Hard,
Die Hard reference.
Oh,
which apparently he says in German first, and his German compatriot doesn't understand him. I never figured that part out.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I think it was just sort of like emphasizing. They're a little bit shaky on that.
probably
point.
was speaking in a Saxon accent, which is like Saxon accent. Not as bad as Swabian though. Anyway, yeah, I shoot a dude. Can I shoot a dude?
You can shoot a dude for sure.
Okay, tell me, like.
You
so
tell
it was
me.
Like how many orcs and how many human?
There are
dudes and,
six
like,
six
the
hobgoblin
presumably
orc types, and then there are let's see, 7 of the bandit cutthroat humanoid types, and there is of course the littler creature, the goblin, which is was trying to make peace between orcs and humans a few seconds ago.
And I did shoot a human with my orc arrow.
You did. You shot the human with the orc arrow, and yes, you did.
I think I will shoot the human who was already shot.
Okay.
Oh, does a 24 hit?
A 24 will absolutely hit.
Me too. Ugh, 4 points of damage.
All right. Let's see.
Pierce his other ear.
Okay. Let's see. Right. So. Okay. All right. So you strike him in the side, and then he points down and you'll pay for that. He kind of grunts, and you can see his sort of broken, cracked teeth, kind of grinning at you. Is not like a particularly friendly fellow, and particularly displeased with you, Inga. So
There's more where that came from. And
So-
that's my turn.
all right, that's going to lead us up to those guys.
Oh, I need to mark
So the
my
first
armor.
person to act actually goes between you. They also got a 17, so they actually go between you and Tani. So their first action is the guy who you just hit grabs his axe and starts running down the hillside towards you. Just like roaring at the top of his lungs. And he's wearing kind of a corselet of mail. But as he is running at you, you realize that this is quite a reckless charge. Like this is like kind of nuts. And he basically is running at you at absolute full speed. While he does this, Tani, I would like you to make an insight check for me, please.
Okay.
He has an axe to grind. Well done, Big Boss.
14.
So, Tani, we were talking before about the berserkdom, and what I was going to say was this person does not seem to be exactly berserk, but the combat the style that you see them sort of attacking in is this very reckless, heedless of danger sort of attack. And the reason I bring it up for you is that you know quite well that the danger of someone like this is that they have very little regard for their own safety, even if it's not actually a berserker. And one of the dangers of that is that someone who has no regard for their own safety, whilst they are easier to hit, can inflict a great deal of damage because they are just, putting everything they've got into every swing regardless of the circumstances. So for what that's worth, you've seen stuff like this before, and it's not, and it's also not standard for typical bandits to act like this. So that strikes you as odd.
1.
Sorry?
Tony's holding up one finger. I figured
Yes.
he has a point.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Terry. What's up?
So, but is he wearing a shirt or
He is. He's
wearing
wearing
a
a
bear
corset.
costume?
He is wearing a corset. Yeah, exactly. And he strips completely down, and he's revealing nothing but a bear costume. No, he is not neither of those. A corselet of mail.
Thank you.
So-
I'm not the only one that was like, what?
So he runs full at you, and basically is just about to arrive to you when his turn will come to an end, Inga. And so for a moment, you're like, you're waiting for his charge, and then you see a few of the others who were up there on the ridge, who turn, and I'm actually gonna separate people out a little bit just for my ease of use here. Theater of the mind or light or not, I'd still like to be able to see what's going on. So we had there. Okay, so he charges down like this, so he's now right on top of you practically. And 2 of the ones who are on the side of the ridge with him charge down similarly towards all of you. I would say, let's see, I think they're going to worry themselves most with Tawny and with
thought
River.
they were warriors, not warriors?
Oh, cute. That's very good. I like that. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Where's Lilimon? Oh, yes. Okay, so
Yeah, exactly.
half of them.
They will, death to horses everywhere. No. Okay, no. That's not what happens.
Just imagining like a warrior's like Dear Prudence situation where they're like writing in for advice columns and signing off warrior, not warrior, or something like that, and just like
Why wolves, not
in-
werewolves?
but anyway.
Okay, let's
Sorry.
see. Meanwhile, the other ones are attacking. Let's see. Okay. So, on the other side of the ridge that you can't really see, these, they are attacking the hobgoblins. One thing to note, though, is that although you can't see them because you're dealing with the ones that were charging at you, there is some terrible sounding attack going on up there. You hear like squishing sounds and terrible screams, like savage cries of battle. This is not like a little spat. They are very, very angry at each other, apparently. So good work there.
Chop each other down.
Okay, there's that. And that should be
Quick
that.
question before the attacks roll in. How does reaction work? Just to be clear, like if someone is attacking me and I have a thing that says use your reaction to something,
Yes,
then
after
does that
they've attacked you, you literally can react almost, not quite in real time, but they attacked, and then as your reaction, you can do something. Sometimes it's a reaction which goes right before the action, as in regular D&D, like a shield spell, as your
Okay.
reaction. Other times it's right afterwards, kind of like as a retributive strike. So warlocks have stuff like this.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And I'm just so this is for specifically for distraction, which is
That would be before, probably then.
right. But so the other thing I wanted to make sure of was, is that something? Because I seem to remember from the book that it's something that you can use on behalf of others as well. So, like, it says at 6th level you can use your sharp wit and knowledge of the terrain to distract, confuse, and otherwise sap the confidence and competence of others. When a creature that you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, an ability check, or a damage roll, you can use your reaction to expend one of your uses of Warden's Gift, rolling a gift die and subtracting the number rolled from the creature's roll. You can choose to use this feature after the creature makes its roll, but before the lore master determines whether the attack roll or ability check succeeds or fails, or before the creature deals its damage. The creature is immune if it cannot hear you, or if it is immune to being charmed.
Right, and so that can be done, as long as it's within 60 feet of you, then sure, you can do that on others too. Now, these 3 did not attack. They literally just got to within range of you. All of them wielding these ragged, very nasty-looking axes, which they wield two-handed. Again, not usual for bandits. Most of the time, your experience has been, sword and shield and that kind of thing, but that's not what these look like. Okay. That was those people. That leads us to Tani, who is up next. So you've got a two-handed axe wielding whatever this is in your grill.
Oh, he's actually in my grill?
In your grill.
I thought he was still a little bit of distance away, but okay.
No, they've closed within range of you because they just use their entire move to just get to you.
Okay, so double checking my inventory, I'm down to 3 honey cakes, which means I gave honey cakes to these dwarves, so they're not exhausted.
Not exhausted. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So what I was going to say is that I'm just going to interpose myself between Domi and any of these other guys and take the dodge action to basically try to parry, any attacks that were coming in. But if they're already here, then doing that doesn't do any good because it'll be the next round before they get to act again.
Right.
So I'm smack this guy in the face, or whatever part of him I can hit at this point.
But do you do like the thing where you point like to mark a home run that you're gonna do one?
Just pull a Babe Ruth, just point at like one of his 2 teeth and then point off to the south somewhere. Yeah.
Just pull a Boston Red Sox ALCS bound baseball team. Just want to make sure.
Was that English? Did anybody else understand that?
The people in Boston
Kind of
did.
English, sorry.
Okay. Where
Funny
is
my Boston friends who love baseball are actually Dodgers fans. Like they support Boston, but there's like a Boston LA connection. So I'm very curious to see how things go.
I see. Yeah, if the Dodgers get there for sure.
11?
11. Let's see. Is 11.
11.
Love that video. Is not going
Very
to hit.
popular in this household, let's say.
It's so good. Is
Oh,
not
I
going to
wonder
hit.
why. Amal. Tell us. Why could that be? That's
Because my husband is Scottish, and that's why it's funny. Sorry.
So 11 does not hit, unfortunately, Tani.
I figured that.
So
Is that just because he didn't pronounce it correctly? If you said 11 right, would it hit?
11?
11.
Is that Dick Van Dyke? Yeah, I think I told you the first time I ever saw that video was when an older man who's a Scottish student auditing my class actually sent it along to me. It was like, I thought you'd find this funny. That's great.
How
Anyway,
much does a kilogram of electrons weigh? Never mind. Move on.
so that is a miss. Unfortunately, he blocks it with his axe and kind of smiles at you in this disgusting-looking grin. Okay, you are still there. I assume you're not going to try to disengage from the fight, so to speak. So now it is the dwarves' turn, and the dwarves are going to move in with their pickaxes and are going to try to attack. Let's see. They have got these things with the lore guide.
Mind you, like if it would make a difference mechanically, then Inga like would have given one like her spare axe to one of the dwarves. Like I did say that last time.
Right, I
but,
remember
like,
that.
the question was if that would actually make a difference.
Right. Well, the mechanical difference, because originally what you had said was someone said that they would give. Maybe it was the River who said giving like a dagger or something.
A belt dagger.
And I actually think that the pickaxes I think are going to be more easy for them to use than that. However, an actual axe
A two-handed one, by the
might
way.
probably might do a
Actual?
little bit more.
Actual.
I asked you a question. Is going to work. So yes, I think that one of them would be able to use that, which is just a regular axe, right? There's no.
It's a regular two-handed axe.
Okay.
Great axe, I think is what it's called in the rules. Let me double check.
It's Yad. That's true. Exactly, Big Boss. You're going to the Yad. You put your khakis in your khakis. All right. So let me know when you know, Terry.
Yeah, it is on page 151. Great axe. Heavy two-handed and does 1d12 slashing damage.
Okay. All right. So that first one, the dwarf moves in. Basically, you have a dwarf fighting alongside each of you. So that's how that works.
But do we get flanking for that?
Bolo does not have that as well. So if you can figure out a way to move around them, but at the moment, one of the things you did was you, and I quote, put your back to the hole so as not to allow them to get around behind us. So you'll have to think about whether you want to give up that ground and kind of slide around to the other side. Because if you do that, you'll be flanking, but then you also will no longer have your backs to the hole. So I'm just letting you know.
Wait, where did Tony go? Because Tony attacked one of them, right?
Yeah, Tony's right next to you. They're all three of them charged
okay.
down, basically.
Okay.
And the other ones are engaged over the ridge with the presumably the orcs.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Exactly.
Did they register a pattern yet?
They did, and they decided that it's time. They went to the not.com and okay.
Wait, look, I have a hard time visual. We are all like with our allies like in one blob right now.
Yeah,
correct?
the dwarves are standing next to you, basically. There's one
Okay.
next to each one of you, engaging each of
Okay.
the three cutthroats that are in front of you. Behind you is the sort
Hole
of
that they
hollowed
just
out,
dug open. Yeah.
the hollowed out
Okay.
mine area type of thing. And then in front of you, 60 or so feet in front of you, is the top of that little ridge that they just charged down from.
In that case, Inga would like shout at them, "Stand your ground!"
Okay, they seem to be doing that. One of them has actually hit this guy just. Okay, that's going to be
With a mattock to the face.
pick out an axe to the face. This is the one that actually hit the axe to the face.
Oh.
And actually did a fair bit of damage. This is the one that originally had been hit. Actually, has been hit twice now by Inga's arrow. So this guy is starting to get a little tired of being hit in the face repeatedly by weapons. But seems to be, despite the hits, it should be noted, Inga, 2 arrow shots plus an axe, plus an axe slash. This thing, he's still holding up like fairly well. This is a pretty tough person for someone who presented as a kind of stealthy sort of bandit. Seemed to be tougher stuff than that.
Yeah. Also, I didn't do a lot of damage. I'm just good at hitting things with a bow. I'm not.
Or
good
they
at
can
hurting
take a
things
lot of
with
it.
an-
I think is the idea. Anyway, one of your dwarves hits the one next to Tawny, also hits their target. It is going to do. It's going to do a little bit of damage as well. Kind of a glancing blow, but still. And the one next to the river is not going to hit, misses wide. Bolo does not have one on either attacking him, nor does he have a dwarf next to him. So Bolo is at the moment kind of a free agent, so to speak. Okay, those are the dwarves' turns. That's going to lead us to the aforementioned Bolo.
Okay.
Sorry,
So, no, it's no problem. So I wanted to I know our backs are towards that opening.
Correct. That's right.
Do we know if it's did we see inside? Is it like a mine or something, or?
You don't know for
Crypt
sure. It
or-
might seem like it might even be more like a tomb or a catacomb. It looks like this. I
Right.
just put it on Roll20. I mean, I'm
Calls
sorry,
it a
on the stream.
mine. A mine.
So it looks kind of like that.
So I want to try to. I don't know if this is exactly how we're all situated, but I want to try to get sort of to the side so I can get a shot on the guy who's been wounded fairly well.
Yeah, I think. So here's what I'd say. I think you can do that. Be aware that by doing that, though, you are exposing your back to the people on the hill. Now, at the moment, the people on the hill are more worried about the hobgoblins, but
Yeah.
there may be a point where you don't know how long it's going to take before someone's going to come over that ridge and see you. So I'm just letting you know that that's a possibility.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the risk for now.
Okay.
And just try to keep my eye on it a bit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm not directly facing the guy
Yep.
only.
Yep.
Okay. And then I'll take a shot with my my sling.
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna
we're going to
do-
slide to whatever left or right to be able to do that. All right.
Yeah.
I like that on the map, the way we have it. It's like you went all the way to the northern Dale Lands to
Yeah.
long range. It's
Massive wind up.
It's a
50
nice
miles to the. Okay. All right.
Alright, so 18.
18 will hit.
Yay.
That good.
And
Yes.
oops. So we have
Yeah, that's interesting to know.
that. And then so 17.
17. Oh, man, it kind of hits him in the back of the neck. That got his attention. Now he's starting to look pretty hurt, but not dead yet. Taking a lot of damage, but not dead yet. But definitely looks
Just
quite
mostly
hurt.
dead.
Right.
He's
Exactly.
mostly dead. It's totally different. Okay. Good stuff. Bolo, you're going to stay in that general vicinity, I assume, like the.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see. That is going to. Okay. So, let's see. There is that. Okay. So, you hear some shouting. All of you do some. Well, you hear a lot of shouting, but you also hear some higher pitched, like. And then you see, sort of peering over the ridge, is the sort of bent, kind of hunched over figure. And first of all, he points up and he says, "The Rising Tide just resubscribed," and so that was awesome. Thank you, Rising Tide, for the resub.
For easily the first like 4 syllables of that, I was like, "Wow, what's he saying?" And now, amazing.
He just looks at you and you hear da 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 da. You're like, wait, how is that possible? Okay, so thank you, Rising Tides. I appreciate it, my friend. So what he actually does is he, and this I would say is probably going to be. Bolo, I think you're the one who sees this because you're keeping an eye on both sides, and you see this little creature come out, and he draws forth what looks like a pretty sizable bow for someone of his size. And it looks, in fact, like it might be a bow made of some kind of unusual substance, like maybe a bow of horn, perhaps, that's actually been made. And he draws it back and then fires a wicked-looking arrow in the direction of, let's see, I think the target he's going to aim for is going to be the tall one that he has a chance of getting more of a shot at, and that's Tawny. So he is going to aim for Tawny. That is going to be... And let's see. That is going to be also a sneak attack because of unique abilities from him. However, his attack sucked.
Sneaky.
Let's see. That was an 11, which I'm assuming is a miss, Tawny. Okay. And then... wow. He made 2 attacks and best he got was an 11. That's not so good.
Hey.
So arrows just shoot by you in every direction. So that's not so cool. He's not happy about that. All right. And then you notice that he kind of, Bolo, ducks below the hill again. So there's a ridge, right? So he kind of just slides back down. So you can just sort of see him, but he's clearly trying to stay out of obvious sight.
Okay.
To the extent that he can. Now it is the turn of the hobgoblins to go. So you hear this terrible, like, just shouting and shrieking and savage cries, as I mentioned before. And now the hobgoblins are going to get their attacks on the creatures that are bothering them.
Bother.
We told you.
So the first 4 are men, and these are 3 hobgoblins, or is
So
it...
there are 7 men in total.
7. Okay.
With 1 goblin creature here. And then there are on the other side of the ridge, and so 3 of the men are down with you. The 1 goblin is on the top of the ridge, and then on this side, on the other side of the ridge, we have 4.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And all
So you're actually rolling for the damage they're doing to each other already.
correct.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have done this if you hadn't gotten like 85 criticals in a row to make it all possible to do this. So. No, it was great. I really enjoyed all of that.
Would have
I
gotten away
was like,
with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
exactly.
And that dog and that pony and that.
Let's see.
We literally have a dog and pony show.
Oh, we do.
Great. It's like
Oh.
it's stone and leather moss.
So that is going to do that to those guys.
And somebody recently posted to Twitter some art that they did of Scooby and the gang, but as D&D characters.
Really?
And unfortunately, it included Scrappy Doo, but he's like a little gnoll, and he actually looks pretty cool.
Aww.
And I'm just like, I'm so conflicted by this. I hate him so much, but he looks really cool as a gnome.
That's funny. Yeah, that isn't it. Okay, so Yeah, sorry, folks. I'm going through this as quickly as I can, but I'm trying to process multiple attacks
Okay.
on multiple fronts.
DM is buffering. It's okay.
The
Yeah.
DM is
The
buffering.
one time that I'm like, I want all of those bad guys to roll high whilst they are attacking each other.
It's true. They have done some damage to each other for sure, though. They have definitely hit each other. In fact, one of them critically hit one of the others. So
Can we inspire them?
yeah. You can do it, hobgoblins.
Did you hear what that guy called you?
Can you imagine Bolo like runs up to the river and is just like, "Could you sing a song about how orcs are great?" And we're like, "What are you talking about? We just need to inspire them. I don't know. Say that like you like it when they're really they savage bite people horribly. Just something. I don't know. Like."
Wow.
So,
Amazing
like,
death metal. That will inspire.
exactly through gritted teeth. Orcs are the greatest. I'm lying through my teeth. No, you know. All right. So, all right, that finishes up, and of course, much of this you don't see what exactly they're doing. You just hear a lot of terrible sounds of blood, etc., and shouting. Okay, that's their turn. None of the hobgoblins have come over the ridge because they, at the moment, are completely concerned with the humans that they think did them wrong. All right, that's going to lead us to the river. So you've got yourself and Stone, of course. So it depends on what you want to do. You've got one of these cutthroat bandit types on you right now.
Right. So I think both River and Stone are going to attack this guy.
Okay.
And they're question, this hasn't come up yet. So usually they work to flank together. How does flanking interact with the disadvantage in the attack? Because I would imagine that it
cancels it out.
It cancels it out. Okay.
Yep.
So, but like probably for one of them.
Correct.
Per,
not both.
right. So, so I think. So who's gonna do it though? I'm trying to think narratively who gets the cancelled out disadvantage on the first one. Usually River goes first, so I think that Stone moves into a flanking position to give River advantage.
Okay.
So this is a just normal roll as a consequence. So Stone is like growling circles to find his position to give River advantage, which will be just normal on her attack.
Okay.
Kathonk. She just goes in with her hand axes.
So,
Wow!
11. Those are clean misses, I'm afraid.
Those are just misses. Oh, well. Okay.
Wah, wah,
And...
wah.
Yep. And so Stone is going to go in for his bite at disadvantage. Yalla ya Stone. Khair inshallah. Well, that's a 15.
15 is actually going to hit.
Great. And I guess he has to succeed at a...
Yep.
Great, cool.
He does, though. Seems he does. He seems very strong, actually. So kind of mutt. And throws him off.
He does 5 piercing damage.
Okay. All right. Let's see. That's that one. All right. As I try to find which one of these ones has been hurt exactly the amount. All right. Right. Got it. Good stuff. Okay. That is okay. Good stuff there out of both you and Stone. I assume you're all staying in the same places, relatively speaking.
Yep.
And that's going to bring us to the top again with Inga. You are now there with the person that you've been just beating the hell out of, you and your dwarven friend here next to you.
I drop my bow, use my item interaction to pick up my axe from the floor, and I start pummeling the guy in front of me.
Pummel away.
Whew.
And
That
Amal,
was the wrong X that I clicked. However, the attack is the same. The damage is just different.
So that's going to be, we're looking at an 8, which
so
is sadly a miss. Dodges out of the way. Really, actually, less dodging and more like axe-wise, sting, like blocks it out of the way.
Yeah, however, this is melee, so I get a second attack.
Right.
This time I'm going to click the right one. Okay, that's a 14 hit. Though.
14 will hit.
Hallelujah.
Amal, I just put the link to the Scooby-Doo thing in Twitch chat. So.
Yeah, that's really cool, by the way, that image.
That is a 10.
10, all right.
Oh, that's so cool!
So this one, he now looks extremely hurt. Inga, like finally, like is like sort of gasping for breath. And let's see. Yeah, he's not happy about any of that situation. Okay, that's your turn. You're going to stay where you are, I assume.
Yeah.
Conveniently, it is their turn. So he is first going to attack you with his axe with great two-handed strokes. And let's see. He's going to, first of all, attack twice. The highest roll that he gets, though, is a 12, which is not going to be enough, I assume.
Wait, who is he attacking?
You.
Me? No, 12 does
Okay.
not hit.
As his bonus action, he will take a third attack, one of the unique qualities of this person. However, again, the dice rolls have been horrific, and a 10 is once again not going to
I'm perfectly content with them.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that's true.
The horror!
Very, very displeased with that. All right, so that was a complete fail on his part. The one that's attacking Tawny, let's see.
Now watch this.
Is... Okay, first attack...
And down.
First attack is an 11. Second attack is a critical miss. That's nothing at all. All right.
A lot of 11s today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
11!
11. All right. So that's a miss. The one that's on, let's see, I think is going to stay focused on the river. That is a 16.
That
Oh, sorry,
will hit.
17. 17, I'm sorry.
That
Well,
will
that
hit.
won't.
And another 17. So 2 hits with the axe. And 2 things happen as a result of this. First of all, you are going to take 23 damage as he cuts into you. And
boy.
then this weird thing happens, River, where he cuts into you and then having done so, like basically takes one hand off for a moment and slams it into the handle, doing an additional 3 points of damage to you. So this is a
gross.
total of 30. So what does that work out to?
26.
26 points of damage. And then he sort of grins at you and smiles and says, "Tasting your blood will be a pleasure." And then
gross.
pulls his axe forth. You have never seen someone actually fight like this who looks like this. This is definitely not a bandit. Something else is going on here, quite obviously. Meanwhile, up on the ridge, there is still lighting into the people up there. So let's see, that's... All right. Again, you hear horrible sounds. There is one, what sounds like a cut short. If you had to guess, somebody up on the ridge didn't make it just now.
Oh no! Horrible.
And and then there's another attack on that one. Right, okay. Okay. All right, that is their turn. That is going to lead us to Tani, who is up next, and the dwarves will be going after you, Tani.
More of the same.
Okay.
Trying to schmack this guy. Keep thinking that I'm thinking of it wrong. There's got to be a way I could take the dodge action and have it apply.
That's a good call, by the way, Arudinel. I'm sorry. Sorry, Trent. I just want to say that's a
okay.
good call. That UI improvement is a good idea, actually. I don't know how that works, but that would be neat. Sorry, Trent. Say that again.
No, I was going to say there has to be, even though it wouldn't kick in until the next round or the next time I was attacked, I still have to be able to take the dodge action.
Yeah, sure. I mean, sure.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. So you are going to dodge. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Everybody who attacks me has disadvantage.
All right. You are prepared with your quarterstaff in its defensive position.
With one, little arrow sticking out of it, where the dude hit the...
Yeah, exactly. Using the arrow to help block.
Hey, you might want to save that arrow for a future encounter.
Exactly. Another ridge battle against orcs and humans. Okay, now the dwarves go. So the dwarves are going to move in. First one with a solid hit. The one next to you, you apparently got the really good one here, Inga, because the one next to you just brings his axe around and just decapitates the dude who's on you. The head goes straight off. And he looks at you and gives kind of a weary grin before sort of turning to see what else has to be done there. The one that is on Tawny.
Wait.
What?
The one that just killed the guy.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the pickaxe?
That's
or
the one
my
with the axe that you gave him.
Okay, so the other one has not hit anything yet in that round, right?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Like the one with the pickaxe has not used his turn yet, right?
Wait, his turn is right now.
Yeah, okay, so before he does anything, Inga says to him, quick, pick up this axe.
Okay. He's not going to have a chance to react to that this turn. This is happening on his turn, but next turn he can do that.
The dwarves taking turns tossing the one axe to each other.
you.
No, the one of the bandit, the other one just.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Okay.
That would be funny though.
Because axes are, like all dwarves have proficiency with axes. But not with pickaxes. So it's better for them to.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I know, that doesn't make any
sense. Yeah, because pickaxes are like officially not weapons. You know, I guess they count as improvised weapons in this one, right?
Basically.
I guess they've got proficiency against like rocks when they are doing masonry. But yeah, I can see that.
Okay, so the one with you, Tani, does hit the one that you're on. The one with you, River, though, misses, unfortunately. Their target and kind of curses in Dwarvish. And that's going to lead us to Bolo, who is up next. So, Bolo, you saw one of them go down. There's still that sneaky dude up on the ridge, and there's the people beyond the ridge you can't see.
So, I don't know how the rule works in this particular game, but I want to delay my action until I see. Well, I want to move slightly.
Okay.
So I'm in a different position than he saw me last time.
Okay.
And then wait. And the moment I see him, I'm slinging a stone at him.
Okay.
This is the best use of a holding action I have heard in some time. I love this.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just realized that you had gone behind the tomb on the map, so you were actually concealed, which was cracking me up. I'm like, it works.
So Bolo just shifts off to the side and just sitting there.
Yeah, and if there is cover, I'm going to use it, but I just don't know what's around.
Yeah, there's not a lot of cover, but there definitely, at least where you are, without jumping into the hole behind you. But there definitely is. You can definitely be doing that, and it's a good thing you did that because the next one to go is him. So as he emerges over the ridge, you can swing, fire off your
I launch
your sling bolt or your
all right.
sling
So
stone.
I will roll. Is it a sneak attack or just a regular attack?
This is not a sneak attack because you're not. There's no allies of yours nearby, and you're not doing it out of technical cover. So it is not a sneak attack.
Oh wait, has he moved away from us?
A little bit.
Who? Which one? Bolo? Yeah, Bolo's
Bolo,
not near
yeah.
you.
But
I mean, he's not a mile away, but he's.
It's not that an ally has to be close to him. It's that an ally has to be close to his target, and he's aiming at the goblin dude.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
There's no
yeah,
ally there. Unless you call the cutthroats. Yeah, unless you call the cutthroats who are kind of fighting everybody to be your ally, but I'm not going to count that. So,
yeah,
if he rolls a natural 20, he will get it.
Right.
I need advantage or for them to be engaged.
Right.
All right. 18.
Close.
18. He is quite. I think. Let me just double check. Yes, that hits. Yep. So he's like he sort of is shocked when when you hit him.
You'll never get.
You'll never
the bow.
Okay. So you hit him and he and so he turns his bow and fires at you, Bolo. This mono like like
So imagine Bolo holding up flanks here and hiding behind it for arrow cover.
Okay, so this is makes 2 attacks. We've got a 13 is the first one and an 18 is the second, Bolo.
Let me see, where did you go?
Top center.
17 armor class.
Okay. So that 18 then will hit the second one. And that is going to do 2 things. The first thing is it's going to do 4 damage to you, Bolo, but I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Okay. Saving throw.
Nice.
Oh,
Aha.
awesome.
Woohoo!
I don't even need to look up the result that might have happened. Right. So you ward off. You do feel when the arrow that hit you is kind of just in the side of your arm, kind of a shallow wound. But as you felt from the arrow, kind of a almost a burning sensation beginning to spread, but then sort of fades. But it definitely did not just feel like a normal hit. Something else was going on with that. And the goblin, sort of looking and cursing that it did not have quite the effect that he wanted, disappears behind the ridge again, ducks his head back down. And now the hobgoblins go, attacking.
A quick question on one of my abilities. What is the dash action?
So
I can
twice as
explain if you want.
fast. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. You want to?
Yeah, the dash action is so like you have like different types of actions you can take during a turn, right? So like your regular action, you usually use for attacking or something like that, but you can also dash, which means you get double movement, but then you can't attack also in that round.
So you
Like
you
instead
cover
of like
twice as
attacking
much.
or doing anything else, you can like run twice as fast.
Yeah, okay. I have an ability that lets me do a dash if I'm plus some other stuff.
It's like a
Okay,
bonus action, maybe.
All right, I will use uncanny dodge to have that damage since
Good
I saw it
boy.
coming.
Okay.
That's what I constantly forget.
Okay.
I always forget to
So
do that
only
with
2
my roll.
points then are what you
Yeah.
get. Good stuff.
Okay, and I'm
All
done.
right. Right. Okay. Good. That's there. Okay. So the hobgoblins have gotten off their attacks.
Does he duck down again, or does he? Stay?
He does. Yeah. He ducks his head back down again. So
Okay.
he after cursing in Goblin presumably for.
Oh,
Wombat Inge.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yes.
Okay. So that leads us to the river. Is up next. So you're there. You still have the one that you're dealing with. Your cutthroat friend
Yep.
there.
Gonna stay on him, and just going to do the attack again. Although I think this time, no, I think just the same again. Essentially,
Okay.
So River's gonna go. So they're staying, keeping the flank. River will take the advantage from that, and
Which
and
means
Stone will...
which means a flat. Just
Yeah, which exactly. So
just roll a natural 20.
Yeah.
Just roll high. That's how it works.
Roll high. Okay, so actually, so this is the guy she's on is the guy who just like literally drove an axe into her, right?
Yes.
And then like
And then double hit
it
the
again.
yeah.
So question. Oh no, I've got inspiration. What am I saying? I've already sorry. So in this moment, given that
Well, but wait, hold 1 second though. So you can only use inspiration regardless of the inspiration, unless it's like bardic inspiration, adding a die or something. You can't counteract and then use an inspiration to get advantage. Like you can't use double on.
Okay,
a
so
turn.
advantage is just not available.
Correct.
Okay, all right, then never mind.
Pretty much. I mean, like if you weren't flanking, you would be at disadvantage and could use your inspiration to counteract that. So you could definitely use it to counteract it if your flanking wasn't optional. But since flanking is already up, then
Right.
yeah. So.
Okay, in that case, what I'm going to do is actually give Stone the flanking advantage this turn, and no, okay, I'll hang on to it. I just wanted some like outsized reaction to the fact that this guy is a tool.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I understand. I'm with you. Yes, he is.
Okay, so River is just going to like grit her teeth really hard and go and just like raise her axes again and try to like bring them both down on this guy.
Okay.
At his neck from both sides.
Okay.
See?
Ooh,
See?
that was all it took.
Okay.
That's all it took.
Thank you. So so I guess the
Critical
10 does not hit.
No.
Oh no,
Bolo
sorry.
It's a took,
Okay.
not river.
Yeah.
What?
That's all it took. Yes,
That's
Bolo.
all it took.
That's all
I
that
see what
Bolo
you
took.
did there.
Okay, 10 is a miss, but the 26 critical hit will quite obviously hit. So that's max
Yeah.
damage there.
And max damage, I can never remember what the max damage is, so it is what is this? Whatever the die is there. So it's 6 plus 6, so it's 12.
12 points of damage. All right. All right. So not like that at all. Takes that. Does not like the
The
pain.
visual for me is a very symmetrical sort of like that and Stone is gonna go in for a big old bite of why not his ass.
See if it
So yeah. So that is a 19.
A 19 will hit.
For 9 damage.
Okay.
And his strength saving throw.
Yes.
Right. And strength saving throw, makes again with ease. This guy is
Do not like
throws this off again. Very
I like
strong.
the fact that the arc, the path of your axe kind of forms a heart into the guy's neck.
I love cutting you.
Also, I'll just declaring, like, you know, stone is attached to this man's ass. Just like,
Okay.
just for the insult of it, like, how dare you,
Extra
sir?
ass damage. I will take that into account.
Yes.
Take that into
Like in
account.
Asterix when Idefix bites a piece out of a Legionnaire's uniform and they always wear like boxer shorts underneath.
Yes,
Yep,
with
always.
little hearts on
With red
them.
hearts on them. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Good stuff. So let's
Wait,
see.
is his name Idefix in? No, Dogmatic
It
is
is.
his English name.
So Idefix is in French as well, though. So I totally.
okay. Oh, so
Oh
you
yeah, I
read
was
it
gonna
in
say
French or what?
it's Dogmatics is the English one that I know.
Yeah. Like that's
okay.
a big problem when talking about Asterix and, with like people who like read it in other languages because all the names are
All the
different.
puns are different.
Oh yeah.
There's
No.
the like impedimenta in French is yellow submarine, so it's like yellow submarine.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean I
And-
like the druid was Getafix, for example, and like
Yeah.
And that is Miraculix in German after like a brand of pasta.
But those are both good puns. Like Getafix is also a good pun. Like they all work.
No, the puns are always
No.
good.
Okay.
But like Yellow Submarine is like the wife of
The chief.
the chief. Oh, okay. No, in German there's also Yellow Submarine, but she is the wife of I want to say the Smith. I'm not sure. Might be.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was that, but maybe it is impedimenta. Sorry, I'm gonna look this up as we.
Whilst looking it up, we're back up to the top of the round with Inga. You have
It's me.
that's correct. One is one of them. The one you were fighting is dead. There are 2 others, and of course, there's a lot of fighting going on from beyond the ridge.
Can I use my item interaction to both pick up my bow and stow it away, or not?
Depends on what else you're doing this turn.
Well, I also want to attack, but with my axe.
No, then I would say you can't
Okay.
pick it up and stow it. I don't think you
Okay,
can do that. You
then
might have to step
I,
over your bow and
Gonna use my item interaction to like basically kick my bow to the side.
Okay.
With my foot, and then I'm gonna try to sink me axe into the next guy.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's
By the
see
way,
that it's-
impedimenta is bonne mine in French.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
Gute Mine in German, which is like the best pun because it basically means like somebody who's always in a good mood.
Ha! Oh,
Like I can't explain the pun, but the pun is like excellent. Oh my
Mhm.
god. Sorry. I'm looking at the stream, so I can't see what I actually wrote. That's a 9. That does
9.
not hit damage. Okay,
All right.
next one. That also doesn't hit. Great, that's my turn.
Sadly,
Ooh,
Inga,
yes.
people are sad. That is going to lead to the bad guys, and we'll begin with the one that you just missed. That's on Tawny. I think he's going to stay on Tawny for now, although Tawny is dodging, right? So,
Right.
trying to decide if he wants to stay on the big one who's dodging him, or whether he's going to stay on the frightening-looking dwarf that just started to attack him. But I think he's going to stay with Tawny for at least this round. So, is going to attack at disadvantage, and is going to do so twice. All right, that first one is terrible. That second one is a 13, is the lower
Yes.
roll? Okay. And then bonus action. Yeah, terrible. 7, all misses. Horrific. Bad
Fine.
job by
I
all
don't
of
mind.
them. The one that's on river, which is not dealing with disadvantage, has got, let's see, we've got an 11, and we've got a 20 for the 2 attacks, river.
The 20 will hit.
Okay,
yes.
yeah, not a natural 20, but all right. So that is going to be
But wait, I'm wondering if instead of declaring the damage, maybe I can react with a distraction.
okay.
Because this is
We can do
the
that.
same horrible bonus action. You know what? No, it's fine. It's fine. She's not. Yeah.
Okay. So you are going to take 13 points of damage, and then you're going to see that same, shoving into the throat thing that happened before. So 16 total damage there.
I despise this individual.
The feeling's mutual, miss, he says. All right, let's see. But he's polite by calling you miss as he's trying to destroy you.
Totally. Sorry, so that was 16 points total?
I think,
Did you say?
I think
Yes.
that's right, 16 total, yeah. Because I have you at 18 out of 60 now.
So it was 14. Yeah, 18. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
All right, that's them, and then we have the ones on the other side of the ridge doing
Aww,
their thing.
River as
that
an
river
otter.
is an otter.
Oh, cool.
I love it. Right?
Okay,
I love otter.
let's see.
What
River
place
otter.
you are from? Ottawa.
Oh, my eye
Nice.
otter.
Nice, well done.
Thank you.
You hear another terrible death cry from the other side of the ridge.
That sounds really good to me.
Yeah. Reacting to the pun, no doubt.
Yeah, it's like,
Yes.
no.
Not the otters.
Okay. Let's see.
Discourse upon the otter. The death of the otter.
I mean,
Oh,
Well
that took me a
done.
minute there.
Nice work.
play me
nice
a
work.
jaunty tune with your lutra.
Yeah. This is good. This is good quality work. Everyone just continue to do what they're doing. All right. Wow. Good round for this particular group that I was just checking this one. Good grief. All right. That's going to bring us to Tani, who is up next.
So the meme where there's like that giant cylinder full of water with the hole in it that's spraying out, and the dude just slams the whatever it is on the thing to stop it from spraying junk all over the place. That's what Tawny's gonna do to the river. Going to improve the healing river. Just because she's right next to him, so it's not that big of a deal.
Just wham in the face. Take
Yeah,
this
pretty
healing in
much.
the face.
And she gets 13 points back.
Hey!
Be healed. I like that you're just like smacked in the back of the head, River, and then as you look around, you're like, oh, I actually feel better. Like Tawny's, meanwhile, Tawny's back like dodging and like doing. Although there won't be any more dodging now because you did
Correct.
that awesome thing.
Mhm.
Okay, and then you're
Thank you.
staying where you are, Tawny, I assume, with this dude. Okay.
Mhm.
So the dwarves go next. The one dwarf steps forward to engage the one that is already being engaged by another dwarf, Antani, and is going to critically hit with that axe that you gave him. That axe has been doing work, Inga, let me tell you. And let's see. So
But you
that
brought
Good
it.
idea.
guy is.
It's like I brought an axe to a face fight.
Okay. He's still. I mean, he's taken a fair bit of damage, that guy, but is still hanging in there. These are tough. There's those two, and then we have
Nothing now.
those two. We have this other one, the one that was with Tani to begin with, that is going to. And he looks over and is like. He's looking over at the axe on the ground, Inga, that you told him about, but he doesn't look like he can go over and grab that at the moment because the guy is like staring right into his face. But he notices that it's there, for whatever that's worth. He, however, does hit him with his pickaxe. Glancing blow. And the one that's on the rivers, who has not been able to hit so far. But does this time, actually. And is going to do a little bit of damage to yours, River.
Hooray.
All right. Okay, both of the two of you, all of you, I guess, are fighting right now are looking fairly hurt. Not dead yet, but fairly hurt. And that's going to bring us to Bolo. Bolo, the goblin has not reappeared yet.
Well, he did it last time. I'm going to shift again. I'm going to do something similar.
Head down to Dale.
Yeah.
I'm going to sneak over to Lake Town here. Yeah, and I'm just gonna hold my action and wait for him.
Okay. All right. I need you to make a perception check for me, please, Bolo.
Okay. With advantage, of course.
No, no, not unless you. No, I don't. I
You
don't believe
you
yours-
haven't. No, you don't have inspiration. Do you have inspiration?
No.
I can't remember. Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
call it anyway.
All right. This is important because you were suddenly horrified, Bolo, to, or maybe not, to hear someone see a twang, hear the twang of a bow. It appears that the person you were attempting to ambush has attempted to ambush you and has stealthed around you. And so they're going to roll at advantage to hit you. Although we'll see whether that works. These are two pretty bad rolls. Well, 18 actually is not a bad roll. 18 is a hit.
I think it's a
17?
terrible roll.
Yeah, that's true. All depends on your perception. So 5 points of damage, Bolo. Now you can try to. You can't uncanny dodge out of this, I don't think, because you didn't see this coming. I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to double check that, but I think that's right.
That's correct.
So you
Yeah, I
can
think I see it.
uncanny dodge out of it, which means that now that he has that, so he's going to take sneak attack damage. Oh, this is what it's like to have sneak attack damage. What a joy.
Right.
That's an additional 3 points of damage, Bolo. So I have you at 36 out of 46 right now. And I need you to make that con saving throw again.
Oh!
Well,
Oh no.
that's
Oh no.
suboptimal.
I don't like that.
It
Okay.
doesn't get any more sub than that.
Yeah, it's very true. So you feel this burning sensation that I mentioned before, beginning to pass through your body. You are poisoned, and the situation that creates is when you are poisoned. It means that I turned to petrified. I'm like, wait, that seems really terrible. No. So
Your skin itches
Yeah.
and nothing else happens.
you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. It's essentially
Oh, I
like
hate
being
those.
miserable but worse.
Oh no,
well,
I hate it so much.
I mean, you don't automatically fail charisma checks. I guess that's the only benefit. But disadvantage on basically ability checks and attack rolls right now, as you feel this kind of nausea kind of sweeping through your body. Unfortunately, this is going to last for a while. There is no saving throw to this unless there's some external healing coming to you that can address it. But otherwise, unfortunately, you are poisoned.
Now, if you want to make it really bad, go down in the hole. Because then
Oh!
you'll be miserable.
miserable and poisoned.
Well, I mean,
Why
it's-
do I even bother?
Roll
Actually-
4 times and take the worst one.
Yeah, I will heal Bolo.
Oh, he's so cute.
You
That
do
is-
heal his heart. That's
Yes.
definitely true.
So he can't go miserable anymore.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah,
Use all shadow.
That's great. Unfortunately, those creatures are creatures of the outside, so when he's underground, he's miserable still.
No. Radagast sent us these as.
The famous underground squirrel.
No, squirrels do burrow. They genuinely
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, not in tombs. Not in. They're not like spiders. They don't hang out in tombs. All right. Anyway, so Bolo, sadly,
They
you
do
are
hang out in
poisoned.
graveyards a lot.
That's true. The creature kind of cackles and then draws back on the other side of the hill.
It's so much.
And
Okay.
it came from behind you. So the thing that I want to point out, like basically below and behind you and over your shoulder, of course, from over the ridge. So that means that this thing also moves fast as well and can move apparently extremely stealthily when he wants to. So
Okay.
that was what happened to you just then. Now the hobgoblins go.
Wait. So I held my action. Do I still get to go?
Yeah.
So the thing is, you held an attack upon when you actually saw him.
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to think if you can. I guess you can fire off. Yeah, that's fine. I was going to say that because you didn't see him, it wasn't technically a use of the action, but that's fine. It's just you get to do it after his attack, not before. So yes,
Right.
go ahead. You can do that. You can fire off at him.
Wait,
I do.
I would like to. Wait, does this count as a sneak attack as well, or no?
This is definitely not a sneak attack. No.
No, because he knows where I am.
Out of sheer, like, I feel like Bolo should be inspired for this.
Okay.
So I wish to inspire Bolo to at least bring his action back. Vengeance inspiration is what I want to do. So
Inspiration.
All right. So you're going to
Inspiration.
inspire in the channel for that. And has
Very
done
cool.
so. Thank you. All right, Bolo. So it's a regular
So it's a
attack.
normal attack.
That's correct.
roll high.
Aha!
24 will hit for sure. And it's a good thing because the 9 would not have. 6 bludgeoning. Thunk. Ah! his laughter, and then he sneaks behind the ridge again. Good job. All right, well done. So now the hobgoblins do what they're going to do. Let's see. They are just wailing on each other on the other side of the ridge.
Fine with it.
Yeah. So there's that. Okay. Right. Okay. That's their turn, and that brings us to the river.
Yes. I don't know if this is more for the dwarf near me and stuff, but if if Stone and River are engaged in a flank and he attacks, does he benefit from that or no?
If what happened? Oh, his benefit from that? No, the flanking that you're doing is for you and for Stone. Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know if he was going to benefit from coming in from another side.
Yeah, I just realized that I did have dwarven figures up here, and I was like, oh, that's where they were. So there we go.
Okay. So right. Gonna do this again. So how hurt is this guy looking at this point?
The one that you were fighting looks pretty hurt. Not right on the edge of death, but pretty hurt. They've been knocked around a bit.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I think that I'm gonna use the inspiration for River and give the flank advantage to Stone now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take off that inspiration. So River has just been like schmacked by Tawny's healing powers and just kind of and rallies and exhales and gets a really steely, murderous look in her eye and attacks in a very focused and determined way on this jerk. So that's a 16 and a 19.
Both hits.
So wait, that rolled one and that rolled. So that is 11 damage.
11 slashing, okay. All right, now looks quite hurt.
And Stone tries to goes in for another bite to rip off his other ass cheek. And that'll be 23.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I gotta say, I never thought to hear you say those words, let alone on stream.
What, is it bad? I'm sorry, is that not PG?
No, that's not the thing.
No,
Just not used to you using that kind of language.
So another 8 damage from
So
Stone.
as he so the 8 damage kind of he stumbles back and forth and blood pouring from a wound, and then and with his last attack, this is an ability called Reckless Hatred.
Did he do the saving throw though?
It doesn't matter because he's about to die. In his death, his attack is Reckless Hatred, and he makes a single attack against the target of his ire, which in this case is Stone.
No!
I think this might be a time for me to use my distract, maybe. I think I will do that. If she sees him going in for a thing, I think River will
I'm
try
not going to allow distraction on this. I'm sorry.
No?
This is his as he's dying type of thing. You're not going to be able to distract him in his death. He is definitely not distracted. He's about to die. He's like, he sees the light at the end of the tunnel and the axe is attacking.
Stupid berserkers!
This is a 21 to hit.
That will hit.
Let's see. And that is going to do... When they hit, they just haven't hit much, but when they hit like a truck. It's 11 points of damage on Stone, and then he topples over and lies dead.
River spits on him.
And the dwarf laughs. Even that spits more than he deserves. Okay.
Heal him if you want.
Good stuff.
Yes.
You can do it again. Okay. So good stuff there. Let's see. And that was okay. Yep. No, I got it. So that's that.
On even there.
Hey, nice.
Oh, so good.
That's awesome.
Dario, you're so good. You're just so talented and brilliant and amazing and fast and smart and pretty and good. Just all of the things.
Oh, stop.
Your art makes me so happy.
Please kill someone.
Please go back to killing things.
because it is your turn, Inga. So.
Oh yeah, cool.
Oh no, actually,
Doesn't
I'm sorry.
completely-
Before you go, I do want to ask the river. River and Stone, since they're dead, you could now. Where do you want to move? Because you could theoretically move in on one of the other remaining one that's there, or the ridge. I mean, there's still Bolo is like you don't know exactly what's going on, but you look over and Bolo keeps like ducking down and looking up at the hill, and he looks like he's been hurt a little bit, and so he's like sneaking around and like jumping behind rocks and doing all this stuff. So you don't know what is going on with Bolo, and there's still the sound of fighting, although a little bit quieter now. Not as many people fighting on the other side of the ridge. And I'm sorry, I'm so sorry to interrupt. One last thing. The number of things you see on the board there that's on the right side, that is not accurate. That's the number you knew of when this fight began.
Right.
You don't know how many are left on either side. So, sorry.
And in the actual like depression with us, there are how many people still? There's
the 3 dwarves and Cliff, of course, and Domi, who are often not in the combat, and then there's one dude, the one bad guy that is on.
Oh, just the one. Okay.
Yep.
So, so River and Stone are gonna move towards that bad guy, but River also wants to just like, ask the dwarf as they're moving, saying, okay, so the thing that River has had in her mind throughout this is how are we getting out of here, essentially. Are we going to be able to sneak away from these people and head back the way that we came out of the wastes? Or are we going to need to find some other method, essentially? Like because we mentioned potentially tunnels and stuff that we didn't know it was behind this door. So I think basically River wants to, once this guy falls, as they're moving towards the next guy, River will say, do you know what's behind that door? Or why were you digging here?
Well, if Domi's got the right of it, what we're looking at there is a tomb. And that's about all you're going to have time for as you're moving towards
no, that's
them,
great. That's all I wanted to know.
So
we'll go into, she's going to go into wail on the last guy who's in here.
Okay.
Although, if she passes Tawny, do I have to do a perception check to see if Bolo's okay? Or like if she can tell where Bolo is?
Not a perception check. I mean, you can just, like what I described to you is pretty much what you see Bolo's doing. That's as much as you could get from a perception check anyway. He has been hurt a little bit, but, he just seems very preoccupied with the hill for some reason.
Okay.
So you can probably tell he's been hurt a little bit, but not as much as you.
Oh,
So.
maybe. Fair. But, River is, like... She is much taller than Bolo is and has more hit points in that sense. So she's like, Bolo is never far from her mind in a combat situation. So I think she's gonna look around to me like, where's Bolo? Oh, there he is. Oh, he seems hurt. Okay. So.
Oh,
but
good. Okay.
No.
You
just
say
like,
this
so
through,
anyway.
through a curtain of your own blood.
But she's basically, she's totally going to be like, as she's moving towards the other guy, covered in blood, say to Tawny, Bolo looks hurt. And then just keep going to fight the other guy.
All right.
Also
Yep,
Stone.
he does.
Stone is
And
like
Stone's doing
she
the
looks.
same.
She definitely looks Stone over.
Okay. All right. As you do that, we're back to the top of the round. All right, Inga, you are up.
I just start pummeling at the one guy who's still standing.
Okay. I'm still standing. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a miss, sadly.
Attack.
That finally, there you go.
Natural.
Yes!
That's how you do this.
That's a crit.
That's how you do it.
Oh,
Max damage. All right.
so max damage is
1 million damage.
Let me see. That is wait.
14?
No, max damage is 16. 16? 14. 14, yeah, 14, sorry.
Okay. 14.
I am not good at the math.
Okay, he looks quite hurt now.
Good, as he should. That's my turn.
All right. Good stuff. And that is going to lead us to the bad guy. He is going to attack you now, turning away from Tawny. Not turning away with his back to him, but like you're right next to him. So he's going to swing away at you, Ingo, with furious rage and anger. And he's going to do so with an 19.
Yeah, that
with his
is.
first attack, and a 23 with his second attack. Hey, he learned how to hit things.
Those both hit.
All right, let's see. So that is going to do. Now, like I say, when they hit, They do a lot. That is going to be 16 points of damage.
Do not want.
Overall?
And no, because he then drives his hand into the handle of his axe for an additional 3. So 19 total damage is what is done.
Intense dislike.
Yep. So 19 damage, which I think puts us at
47.
47, right? Yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ridge, more shouting, screaming, terrible sounds of battle and death.
Wait a second. So which one of our guys currently looks the most hurt, and how far away are they from me?
The one that probably looks the most hurt right now is probably the river, I would say. Stone also looks hurt. Basically the river and Stone. And as far as how far they are, they're moving in, but they're on the other side of the guy from where you are, so. Because they just got done beating their person.
Can I wedge myself in between Stone
No,
and
he's on the other side of the guy.
No, we're coming up behind. Like we're
Exactly,
coming to aid you. Yeah. So.
Then never mind.
We're trying to save you!
Well, my turn has already been. Never mind.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
so let's see. So they are going to do that. Okay. Man, it is very interesting to see this fight go down on the other side of the ridge. All right. Okay.
Your word for it.
That's going to lead
I
us.
would love like a bonus feature of you narrating the fight that is happening over the ridge.
It's like because I don't want to spoil it yet, but you'll see it when you get to the other side of the ridge. Like it's pretty wild. All right, so that brings us to Tani, who's up next. So Tani, people who are hurt, also dude who's on you, who's attacking at the moment, Inga, and so on.
And how hurt is he?
He is pretty hurt. He's pretty hurt. Yeah, he's quite hurt actually.
Schmackensee.
All right.
Schmeckensie?
Yes. Schmackensee.
15 will hit.
Or 9 bludgeoning.
Woo.
That he is he's like just blood, spitting blood, like, you know, sucking chest when you heard a terrible sound of ribs cracking as you just smack. So he's like,
Tony's doing the Tony Stark thing. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Oh man. All right. So yeah, he's not dead, but he's extremely hurt. Okay, so you're right there. That's going to lead, and you're staying there, right, Tony? With them. Okay, so that's going to lead our dwarf friends. Dwarf number 1 is going to attack him and is going to hit and is going to do literally 1 point of damage, which is enough to finish the guy off. So, but as the guy falls to the ground, just before he falls to the ground, he aims his anger and rage and this reckless hatred at the dwarf. So let's see. Ooh. Well, that's quite a hit. Let's see. All right. He's going to do a good amount of damage. Actually, the dwarf who kind of staggers back and falls to one knee as this guy that you just killed expires. So he is now dead. The other 2 dwarves look at the 2 of you, basically Tani and, well, I guess look at everybody, including Inga, and just say, all right, where now? What do we do? And they're sort of like looking around as if waiting for more guidance.
So, how far are we from Domi? Or
Domi's behind you, probably a good 30, 40 feet.
So River,
Cliff.
right? So River basically says we need to get out of here as quickly as possible before they're done fighting each other. We should leave. We have a guide who can lead us out of the wastes. So.
And Domi says, Wait, no, it's not why we came. Now that we've actually shown that this thing is here, you've got to let us finish what we started. This right here might be the key to avoiding conflict between Dale and the people of Erebor and the Iron Hills. If you don't want another war, you've got to let us get in there.
Nah, nobody cares about that.
Well, in that case, you go hide, since you obviously can't help in the battle.
Well,
Make sure you keep your head on your shoulders.
I will, but I can't leave all of you here by yourself and the others. I'll just... And Cliff is right near him with Lillimon, and Cliff says, don't be a fool. You know better than that, Domi. Don't tell me what I know, whelp. And he sort of looks at him and says, there's no need for that. These old bones aren't so old yet. I'll just make sure that I hunker down here, but I don't want you to put yourselves at any undue risk, but this is too important.
River, like, literally, she is covered in blood, but the blood is nevertheless draining from her face, as, like she looks, like, the word crestfallen is confusing because humans don't actually have crests, but, you know, had she a crest, it would have fallen.
I have a crest.
You do have a crest.
I have Sensodyne.
Is that a division
Cute.
of crest?
Cute.
Okay, I see what you're
No.
saying. No, I see.
Cute.
It's very well,
Aqua fresh, well done.
beautiful, amazing. So River just looks at the prospect of spending more time in the waste. She is just like gutted by this and like is trying to process this information, and just finally says, "Then do what you need to do," and just turns away. I think she's gonna like trudge towards. Wait, let me get a sense of the lay of the land here. So I think what River basically says is, so you want to keep digging until you open this tomb.
We're almost there as it is. And then what we find in there will be critically important.
All
Wait,
right.
are all the dudes dead now?
No, there's still a
Even
bunch
the
of
ones
them.
on the hill?
The ones that are
Oh,
net
okay.
down by you, although not the
Yeah.
one that Bolo's dealing with.
So are we in our position, if people on the hill were to come down, are we in a bad position or good position defense?
We don't know how many there are.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
Inga knows how many there are.
Nope, not on the other
No.
side of the
not
ridge. you don't.
anymore. You haven't been watching the battle.
Oh.
Oh,
I guess she would like try to climb on top of the tomb.
That's
So-
up to you. I mean, like, no, that won't be able to see over it. You've got to
Yeah.
climb up the edge of the ridge to kind of look
Yeah.
at the edge of it, like you did when you first saw them in the first place. Actually, if you remember, you were on the other side of this whole depression, looking over to see who was down there. So
Wait,
So I
so where's
think-
Bolo?
Bolo is to the south of you in the depression, but looking up at the ridge, kind of worriedly, and
Is he
darting
alone?
around.
Or...
Yeah,
Like,
he's
I'm
alone.
confused. Okay.
yeah, he's alone.
So I think River has clocked that Bolo is like looking for a further attack, and I think so. We're still in combat, right?
Yes.
So I think River's going to say, "All right, do what you need to do. We should just form a line of defense for you." In case we don't know how many of them are going to come down. We don't know how much time we have. So do what you need to, and we'll just keep at it. And she's going to start scanning the edges of the horizon to see if she can see what Bolo was looking for, as she's, I think, moving towards Bolo as well.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh wait, I guess if there's like a moment to breathe, then Inga would like go pick up her bow again. And...
Well, we're not out of initiative though. So you'll have a chance
Never
to
mind.
you'll have a chance to do that when you get to your turn. So okay, that was the dwarves. Right. So speaking of Bolo, it's Bolo's turn. And so Bolo, remember you are still poisoned, so you have this effect on attack rolls, disadvantage on attack rolls, and ability checks.
Abilities. Yeah. So I want to try to do what the goblin guy did to me.
I
want
figured.
to stealth
Yep.
towards him and try a sneak attack.
It sounds like a plan. Stealth versus stealth. Okay. So go ahead and make your stealth. All right.
Spy versus spy.
It's going to be opposed versus his perception. Okay. So this guy happens to be quite good at perception. That is a very good stealth roll. And as you sort of are going around, now what are you trying to do with the stealth roll? I know you said, like, where positionally do you want to be, I guess, as you're...
Sorry, was this a disadvantage? I hate to be the bearer of this, but...
That's true, actually, yeah. The stealth check would be a
15.
disadvantage.
So
So it'd be a 15, yeah.
So I'm looking for some kind of cover, but also again a little bit away, some unexpected location from where I was previously.
Okay, yep.
With thirdly, a line on him because I kind of saw where he was headed.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So
So
yeah.
go ahead and so you do that. That means as you kind of climb up on the ridge, just enough to be able to see.
Yeah.
You can see that he actually is there waiting. So he obviously heard or perceived your coming. Now all that means is that you're not going to get a sneak attack on him, but you are still going to be able to attack him if you wish. The other thing, and then I'm going to talk up. We're going to resolve that, and then I want to tell you what you see on the other side, since you're the first one to actually go over the ridge.
All right. I will shoot my sling. Dang.
Wow. Holy shit.
Wow, nice stuff.
Well done.
That will absolutely hit.
Crack.
Ah,
I love it.
Okay, and he's starting to look a little messed up here. So let's see. Right, we'll keep that in mind.
Since I'm just over the ridge, I'm going to be trying to use that as cover, essentially.
Yeah, I got you. Now, what you see on the other side is, first of all, there are. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there are
two combatants left.
There are 2 dead hobgoblins. The hobgoblins that are left clearly have the worst of it. They are sort of giving ground, fighting, while the other bandit, whatever they are, creatures, the cutthroats there, are just driving down their axes again and again on the hobgoblins. Now, they do look to you as if the cutthroats have taken some damage as well, but they were definitely outnumbered, and they clearly have an advantage over the hobgoblins here. The hobgoblins are not doing the damage that perhaps they would have expected. So the 4 that were on the ridge, the 4 humans on the ridge, are still alive, although they've been hurt. The hobgoblins that are left are fairly hurt, and obviously 2 of them are dead. So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now that means it is now Furbal's turn, and on Furbal's turn, he is going to make this guy, this person, is going to turn and is going to book it. He basically scrambles away. He looks completely frightened and horrified, and is now running away at top speed, which is quite fast. And as he's running, he's yelling at the humans, and you can actually hear, Bolo, that he says, "Why, you fools? Not them! It's them you need to worry about! Them!" And he's pointing back at the ridge, and a couple of the humans are sort of glancing over their shoulder, don't quite understand what he means, apparently, and the goblin is booking it. Okay. So the Bolo has ducked back over, so you can sort of see that, Bolo, but you're obviously trying to keep the ridge's cover, I think you said. So
yeah, I clock where he's headed so I can.
Yep. Yeah, he's not trying to hide now.
later.
He's just freaking straight on till first start of the right and straight on till morning, right? Just straight ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so he's gonna run away. He is not attacking.
So from River's perspective, has Bolo just for no reason scrambled up the ridge, or has she been able to see the other guy?
Has not been able to see the other guy at all.
Okay.
The first time
she almost certainly
me
saw him.
shoot the sling.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Well, wait. Say that again. What?
Well, I mean, River was
she
looking
saw
at
Bolo attacking something on the other side
Right.
for sure. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then saw Bolo clamber up the ridge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
Is
All those
Bolo-
things are,
Clamber up and then fire.
Right.
Right.
Is Bolo within earshot? Is how
yeah,
far?
I would think so. Sure. If you yelled,
Okay.
which you can do on your turn.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely within range of yelling.
Ooh.
Okay. The hobgoblins, meanwhile, are going to. Bolo actually gets to see this. So one of them is going to hit the cutthroat guy. Second one will miss. Yeah. Okay. It's actually not a bad round for the hobgoblins. Okay. So definitely did some more damage there to the cutthroats, but again, the cutthroats still seem to have the advantage. All right, that is the hobgoblins, and that leads us to the River. Now you can yell or do whatever you like, River. As well.
So River has been trying to not draw attention and stuff, but I don't know. Has she been able? she couldn't hear the hobgoblin, right? Or like the little sneaky dude.
The goblin? No, I don't
Purple?
think so. Not over the sound of the battle. There's still quite a lot of clanging swords and yells and screams on the other side of the ridge, although lesser sound than there was at the beginning.
Okay. I think. So I think River is going to be like kind of confused by what she's just seen Bolo do. So she's seen him clamber up the ridge, fire off an attack at something that she can't see.
Right.
Did you like move again after you fired that shot? Move
No,
back
I'm
down?
still in that position and kind of hunkered low, wary, and definitely looking, and viewing something ahead of me.
Okay.
Or defensively.
Yeah. I think what's available and how much move is between me and that ridge, Arv?
I would say between you and the ridge, you're probably about 30, 40 feet. Bolo is farther away from you because he's also to the south.
Right.
So maybe, I don't know, 60, 70 feet, something like that, or 80. But the ridge is closer to you, 20 or 30 feet. So if you wanted to, like, just use your movement to... you could even theoretically double move to just get up to the top of the ridge and just look over. You could do that for sure.
Okay. I don't think she's... I think what she's going to want to do is, like, she's going to... I mean, she's expecting that some attack is going to come from there. She just doesn't know how much or how quickly.
Right.
So I think actually what she's going to do is try to like gather herself for an attack. How does healing with hit dice work, incidentally? Just
Short rest.
Yeah.
Oh, you can only do it during a rest?
During a short rest, that's right. There are some
Okay.
fighters in D&D that have what's called a second wind, but that's a special fighter thing that a warden doesn't
Gotcha.
possess.
Okay. And okay then. I think she's basically going to like try to get Bolo's attention and like and try to bring him like to gesture to him to come back down the ridge to come with them, and then is going to go to Tawny and basically be like, heal please.
Okay. You are
Essentially.
probably going to have to make a noise to attract his attention, River, because he's very occupied at the moment looking over the ridge. So if you want to be like, Bolo, and then go do all that, you can certainly do that. But I don't think waving your arms is going to reach him.
That's
I think you're gonna shoot an arrow at him.
Critically miss, right into his neck.
okay. I think what she's going to do is she's going to clang her axes together, which is like another battle noise essentially. She's going to clang her axes together and say like, pitch her voice in a way that people who are used to doing this at a specific person just kind of go Bolo, and like.
Bolo, I'm going to have you make a perception check. You can do this at advantage, but because of your disadvantage with the poison, it means it's just a flat roll. So
Take the 9.
fascinating stuff going on the other side
Incredible.
of the ridge. Like,
I'm
really,
very focused.
Yeah, like-
yeah.
All right.
You hear like you hear this clanging sound, Bolo, and you're like fascinating, and you're like still staring at like this.
You know what? Actually,
I haven't heard that sound before.
I think can Stone actually head up and like tug at Bolo's sleeve?
Yes, I think Stone could do that. Yes, and I
Because he
think
also moves faster than
Yep.
River does. I think he will book it. So
Okay, sure.
he's got 40 speed, and I think he will like.
yeah, and if he double moves, he can get to him and tug. That's fine.
I
So
think
yeah,
he's gonna
Bolo, you
double-
now feel this like yank at the bottom of your pant leg,
Oh,
and as you look down, you see Stone kind of
Yeah.
Trying to bring you like back towards the others, essentially.
Yeah, okay.
Wait,
Okay.
who has 40 speed?
Not my move yet, so.
Okay, good stuff out of River and Stone, and then going to Tawny for asking for Zahil, and we will talk about that when Tawny's turn comes up. Inga, you are up, so you've seen what we've just talked about. There is still the sound of fighting over the ridge. You've heard what Domi said. What would you like to do?
So Bolo's out of sight? Or...
No, you can see Bolo too. Bolo is just, remember, Bolo is just at the top of the ridge on your side, so you can still see his body. Also, you see Stone tugging at his leg right now, so you can see both
At
those
Bolo's
things.
leg.
Yeah,
So
Bolo's
the
leg,
plan
right,
is to get Bolo off the ridge down here.
apparently.
Yeah, okay, then Inga gets her bow, stows it away, and holds her action. Wait, no, I need my action to stow the bow away, so that's mine. Then. That's
Okay.
it.
Wait,
Are you
I'm
gonna
sorry.
move
Just one
towards
sec.
them?
Just 1 second. Sorry, I may have totally misunderstood the situation. Like, we're in a depression.
Right.
We're trying to give the dwarves as much time to dig their thing as possible, right?
Yes.
That's what we have said we want to do.
Apparently, yeah.
So it makes sense to go and join battle elsewhere. Whatever. I've said what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's
It's
fine.
an emerging situation. We'll fight when the fight happens.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So yeah, so Inga, you can definitely move if you wish, Inga, towards Bolo or whatever. Like if you want, you could, having taken your action, you could still move. So you could do that if you like.
I guess I'm doing that. Then I'm really confused about the situation and what we're trying to achieve here. So I guess I'm.
Domi and the dwarves want to
Yeah.
keep digging. They want to open the tomb. So-
we protect them while they keep digging, or do we?
I think
first,
that's yeah. And the thing is that the people who are on top of the ridge are still sort of figuring out whether or not they're fighting each other. Like there was a goblin running towards them to tell them to stop fighting each other and to start fighting us. So at some point they're going to come over the ridge. And the question in my
Okay.
mind was like, should we go meet them or should we take every last moment before they come to us to
Yeah.
to heal up and whatever.
They also might ignore the goblin. You don't know yet.
They might,
but-
yeah, exactly. So we don't know, which is why, like, the reason River is trying to get Bolo to come in is that from her perspective, A, he's hurt, B, he might be seen. She doesn't know what's happening up there, and so she doesn't want the attention to come down here, but she doesn't know about the goblin that has just gone to tell them, essentially.
Right.
Okay, so how far away is Bolo from Inga?
So Bolo would probably be, I guess that would be about 60, 70 feet, maybe,
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
Because I moved 3 times.
And
so
Yeah.
that's not
in
right.
that
Yeah.
case, Inga is not gonna use her action to stow her bow. Instead, just keep holding onto both the bow and the axe,
Okay.
and dash up to Bolo's, which overall would be 70 feet that she can move.
Right. I think you can probably get to right close to, yeah. So, okay. So I'm going to move you on the map. So like here-ish. And actually Stone is right here. Okay.
Why is everyone going to the edge? Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that is my turn.
Okay. Good stuff. That leads us to the bad guys. As Bolo, you continue to watch. As actually, I guess you still are watching, although maybe you're now distracted by Stone, so maybe you're not watching as closely. But they are still attacking the hobgoblins. Those are two. They've had no problem. They just had trouble hitting you, all of you. They had no problem hitting each other. That was fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well
I know,
done.
I know you're all broken
Love
up
to
about
hear
that. Okay. So let's see. There's that. We have that, which is going to be that. Okay. All right. You hear another terrible squelching sound, as if
Somebody's
of a-
adjusting their CB.
someone
Gotcha.
expiring. Yes. Exactly. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yet another squelching sound. And that one is, yeah. Okay. Okay. So, all right. That is those. That's their turns. Okay. That's going to bring us to Tani.
Oh. Okay. So I guess I should probably like heal the river or something.
Makes, quite possibly.
Yes. Well, why don't you take 11 points?
Okay.
All right. I'll take
Backhands
it.
you into another 11 points.
River
Heal.
like rubs her shoulder and goes, is that like part of the healing? Like, is there? Can she not like hug me or something? I don't know. Just
I could if you just
Did you not want me to hit you?
I mean this helps get the poultice deep into the wound to help it,
it's bracing. You know, I'm
It's
bracing.
bracing.
It's very bracing. Yes.
Yeah, you
Thank
feel both healed and bruised at the same
Right.
time. Like,
Thank you.
It has to hurt if it's to heal, as that old lady in the never-ending story said.
So did I count right? Does that bring me to 42?
yes, that's what I have you at. Okay, Tani, good stuff. Now you can move. Obviously, Tani, there's nothing on you right now. So where do you want to move?
I'm going to interpose myself between where the dwarves are digging and the ridge where the battle sounds are coming.
Okay, yeah. So the dwarves are making their way sort of slowly back down to the digging site, and Domi also kind of steps forward to do the same thing. And one of them drops the axe that was given to them, Inga, and picks up a pickaxe again and begins to once again sort of wearily set to work, and begins to dig away, and that is going to lead us to Bolo. And so Bolo, you are now have Stone pulling at your leg, and you see Inga closing fast, and you're still at the top of the ridge.
Yeah. So it looks like my sling has a range of 120.
Yes, sounds right.
Is the goblin guy, is he still within range?
He's within range. That's
Oh, wow.
he will be out of range. I mean, he's going as fast as he can, but he'll be within
Yeah.
range for probably this turn and maybe one other, depending.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one more shot at him.
Okay.
Amazing.
When you come back over the ridge, by the way, you can see that there's now only 2 hobgoblins left.
Okay.
And your 15 is going. Yes, that will hit him. Yep.
Now,
7. So
this guy's not paying attention to where Bolo is, correct?
that's true. That's true. I don't know whether I can allow a sneak attack damage though when he's also
This is why I'm
poisoned.
asking.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Oh,
think so.
right, the poison.
Because
Sorry,
the
never
poison.
mind.
So
Yeah, I need
So-
advantage on the attack roll.
yeah. So he's got
or
a
it needs to be engaged with another.
right. He's definitely not those things. He's definitely running. So
So is that
so that's 7 points that he takes. So that
Yeah.
he stumbles forward. He actually looks quite hurt, but he's still moving at a pretty decent speed. But if you got in one more shot, you might hit him. You might take him
yeah?
down
All
with the
right,
next shot.
I will actually advance to kind of keep him in range.
Okay.
What?
So you kind of
Oh.
pull your leg clear
Yeah.
of Stone, who looks kind of I
Yeah.
would imagine is like befuddled, like what?
I'm like
Yeah.
focused on this dude. He was like trying to take out my friends and give them poison and stuff, and I'm all angry.
Aw, but you're
Okay.
also poisoned, sweetie. Oh
So you're back to the top of the ridge. Stone and Stone looks back at you, River, like with
Like,
like,
Mom, he won't come with me.
he won't come with me.
no. It's true. I'm actually like, I think River is going to be extremely baffled and just be like, what? And Inga's turn is before River's, right? Or no, wait. Who's
No,
next?
River. Well,
No,
you're
I'm
gonna be
out.
up. You're gonna be up next after the goblins do their thing and the hobgoblins.
Okay. Okay. Well, and Tawny is with the dwarves.
Right.
Well, between the dwarves and the ridge.
Yeah, between the dwarves and. Okay.
So be thinking about that because your turn's not quite yet. Be thinking about what you
Yeah.
want to do, River.
Gotcha,
Just
gotcha,
Stone's kind of
gotcha.
looking. So the
I was
goblin.
just trying to decide whether to like. Yeah, never mind. Keep going.
So the goblin picks up, basically, he keeps stumbling forward, yelling loudly at the cutthroats. And now the cutthroats, because there's only 2 hobgoblins left, so now, and they are hard pressed. So now 2 of the cutthroats look back in the direction of the ridge, and see Bolo having emerged over the top of it, and they set off towards Bolo. Or it looks like it's not their turn yet, but it looks like they're going to set off in that way, while the goblin is continuing to, in his cowardly way, run away. The hobgoblins get a chance to go.
Attacks of opportunity.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Let's see. So, no, we're talking about the ones up here. These 2 are still engaged with those 2. So there's no attack.
Oh,
or
okay.
anything. It's these ones that just killed their
they're
hobgoblins,
engaged.
basically.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Twice in the
Okay.
same battle. It's great, good.
All right. They do
Snake.
hit
can love bloom
They do
on
hit
the
these
battlefield.
two. So these cutthroats up here are starting to look somewhat. I mean, they've been through it. They've gotten some serious hits to them. They're not close to death yet, but they have definitely taken some hits from them. Okay, that is the hobgoblins, and that's going to lead us to the river. So now, River, you can decide what you want to do. So Bolo is like over the ridge and going, and ignoring Stone completely, and so you don't know
River's
what's
gonna
going on
book
over
it
there.
after him. I think she's gonna
Up onto the
like,
ridge first, like because
She's just gonna take the most expeditious route towards Bolo. I think.
Okay, that's
like,
kind of like a diagonal route up the ridge, I think. So
Okay.
so that brings you to the top of the ridge where you can then see him. So you can now look down upon the battle and see that there are only 2 hobgoblins left, and they look very hurt. There are 4 men that remain, all a little somewhat hurt. The goblin creature is running away at full blast while Bolo is like charging after him. And I don't know if he's yelling. I just made that part up, but he's charging after him. And there are 2 of these ones who no longer have hobgoblins to deal with have turned towards Bolo as if they're going to move in that direction, River. So that's what you see. And I'll put you here just so you can see kind of where you are.
Right. How close is Inga to me?
Inga would probably be when you maybe like 40, 30, 40, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I think wait, because she was running after Bolo as well, wasn't she?
Yep.
Yeah, she's with him now.
Oh, she is with him.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
she's close to him. Like she's gonna try to, I assume, on her turn, go right after him as well, like right with him.
Yeah. Okay. So River and Stone, who she's caught up to, I think, will both try to just like, I mean, she wants to protect Bolo, and she sees these guys coming towards them, so she's got her axes out and is just.
And,
so
and
she's
let me
gonna-
correct you on one thing. You're not actually right next to Stone. Remember, Stone went south and then up the ridge to the east and is right next to Bolo. You took a diagonal position up, so you're probably about, I don't know, 30, 40 feet. He's closer to Bolo than you are, so...
No, I mean, but she wanted to get to Bolo as quickly as
I know
possible.
that, but I know. But remember, Stone, remember, was at the bottom of the hill right next to Bolo. Not the bottom of the hill, the top of the hill holding onto his leg. And you were some distance away, beginning to close towards him, but you were at the bottom of the ridge. So when you take this diagonal position up the ridge, you're still up on top of the ridge. Now, Bolo is also on top of the ridge, but you're not right on top of him yet. You can't get there that fast unless you do nothing but just double move. And if you were to do that, then I guess that's fine. If you want to just move completely without doing any other action, then you could probably come close to almost be next to him. But you'd have to do that. You have to double move, is what I'm saying. If you want to get there.
That's fine.
Okay, I didn't know if you were doing that. Sorry. So,
yeah, like I'm assuming she's booking it after him. She just wants to get to.
That's fine. Then I put you about there. You can see where you are, so you're all fairly close.
Like essentially, she's wanting to. She knows that she's going to I think Stone is going to keep after Bolo when he sees River heading in that direction.
Mm-hmm, yep.
So the idea is that they converge on.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah.
Grab
So
it by the ear and pull him back. I said, come on.
I mean, he's clearly not going to come back. So now the idea is to just defend him in battle and stuff. So.
Okay, and you can also see. Yeah, and I mentioned what you saw. Okay. Stone's
Does
there.
poison has those effects? Poison is not sapping hit points the way it does in a video game.
Correct. It's not. That's right. This particular. There are poisons that do, but this is not one of those poisons.
Okay, great.
That's going to bring us up to Inga, who is now running after Bolo. So you're now on the top of the ridge also, Inga, so you can see what I've described to everybody else. 4 of these cutthroats, 2 of them fighting 2 hobgoblins, and the other 2 looking menacingly towards Bolo and now, I guess, the river's direction, and some small goblin-like figure running the hell away.
So the dudes who are looking menacingly at Bolo, do they make the impression like they're gonna come running up and?
Yes,
cut
they do look
throats?
like they're. Yeah, that is what they look like.
In that case, I use my item interaction to stow away my axe. I knock an arrow and I want to shoot the goblin.
Okay.
How far is he away?
He is probably at this point 90 feet, probably.
And then I felt the sneeze coming up.
You
What's
sneeze,
the
drop your
range?
bow, fall down the ridge. Take 700 points of
How
humiliation
far
damage.
away did you say?
About 90 feet.
So if the range is like 80 to 320, that means that I get disadvantage
Right.
if I want to shoot.
That's correct. It's just in the long range.
Okay.
That's right. Although you could
does
actually
anybody-
move up. I mean, you're doing right. You could move up like 10 feet and take that shot, and then it would be right within range.
Where would I be then?
You would be in front of Bolo at that point, or close. You'd be like right near him, and maybe in front
And
of
how
him.
far away would the dudes who are running towards us be?
Probably about 50 to 60 feet, maybe.
Oh, okay. So they
yeah.
would either need to dash or need to run to
Right.
get to us. Okay, cool. Then I do that.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
So that's a straight roll. Fuck.
Yep. Shoots off to the
Curses!
left, misses.
Curses.
I very nearly. I was so close to giving inspiration, and I was like, "Oh, I just roll the same one for next time." I didn't.
Well, anyway,
So-
so that was a failure.
All right, but you're now on top of the ridge. You can see what I've described. You can also see as the cutthroats just rain blows down on the hobgoblins that they're facing, the ones that are up here to the north. That first one, he's going to critically hit it and just basically knock it into next week. This hobgoblin,
Great.
you know.
So we'll have to deal with it then.
Yeah,
Awesome.
exactly. That's right. No,
A problem for future cutthroat.
exactly. And then the second one is also going to hit. Okay, and then with its little, does the same thing you noticed, River, multiple times, like the hit and then the push of the blade, and doing that second pushing of the blade actually kills this other hobgoblin. So the hobgoblins are now completely dead, and they now turn to face you while the other two are already on the move. So they are going to, as you say, they're going to run right up. Basically, they're going to do their double move and be right up on top of you, the same kind of berserk fury in their eyes. And you've got one on you, River, and one on Inga. They're both, the one's pretty close to you, Bolo, but they went after the mean-looking dwarf before you.
Yeah.
So if you,
So you're
however,
calling me
ran
looking.
past them, you could theoretically attract an attack of opportunity. So the way to think of it is, if you go directly for the goblin, the most direct route puts you past those guys, one of whom could attack you as you go by. You could skirt around them, but then that's going to slow you down a bit to chase the goblin. So just something to think about when it becomes your turn. Tawny, you are up. And the dwarves will be on deck. What would you like to do?
Well, he's still below the level of the ridge,
Yes.
so he doesn't know what's going on over there, and he's the only one down here protecting the dwarves, so he's not going anywhere.
What about Lillimon? He's down here. Lillimon's here.
Very funny.
So yeah, Tawny pulls Lillimon in front of him to act as a shield.
just
And-
picks him up and puts him right in front of the dwarves.
Right.
Stay here. And then okay.
No, a shield for himself.
Oh, just himself.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
No.
All right.
Can
Looking
why-
for a sharp object that I can use to stab somebody.
From
Yes.
Germany, that's going to be one hell of a throw.
Don't
Wow.
underestimate me.
Do I have to wait till it's my turn to say something to Bolo?
Yes.
Okay.
So
No, in reality, he's just basically, defending the dwarves.
okay. All right, and the dwarves are digging away, and you can see that they've already done a good deal of work. One thing you notice down here, Tawny, is that the area that they have cleared out appears to be, unless you're mistaken, a flight of stone stairs that are descending into the ground, and it looks like a couple of the dwarves are almost sweeping away this heavy black ash that covers everything, and that you can see as they're sweeping it away that there are in fact these stone stairs leading down to something. You're not 100% clear what yet, but like the entrance presumably to this tomb. Okay, that's the dwarves. That leads us to Bolo. So
one quick detail
Sure.
is that if I see enemy folks coming over the ridge to come down towards us, that dude who put the axe down to pick up the pickaxe, I'm going to make sure to let him know you might want to get that back
Gotcha.
up again.
Gotcha. Good call. Bolo, you're up next. Again, the goblin is still running from you, quite hurt. And again, I've described the situation with the two guys. So
Yeah. So I did not mean to just keep chasing him. I only wanted to get one last shot,
okay.
and so I'm just side shifting just so I can get a
Sure.
clear shot past those two guys, and I'm gonna
Right back.
sling another stone.
Okay.
Do you get any benefit from? You're not gonna have advantage. Never mind. I was gonna say, like, can you like hide behind us?
No, because you won't get advantage.
I mean, I distance myself a little bit, but that's as far as I take it.
Okay, so we're looking at an 11, right, with the disadvantage.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately. Actually, wait, is that? I don't think that's going to hit.
Does him not looking at me give me something?
No. He's because the. Yeah, no. That's
Wait, sorry. Are you attacking the goblin or the other?
The goblin. He's trying to take down the goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it does not. It does not. Plus, it's not enough of a thing to hit him anyway. So that misses at his feet. He basically has just been not stealthily at all, just like running across the land.
Okay.
And he's fast.
All right.
So
that's what I'm done then.
Okay. That's going to lead us to the river. And so you've got, again, these two guys that are on you. And there's two others back here. These ones up here.
How far are the two that are farther away?
They are a good probably like 90 feet or so. You don't yet know what they're going to do on this turn, but yeah, they're probably good 80, 90 feet maybe.
And the two who are here are like right on us,
yes,
right?
Yes, they're right on top of you, yep.
So my sense is that... Has Bolo moved or is he still here?
I just sidestepped, so I'm like 20 feet away from you guys.
Okay, so River has been correct me if I'm wrong, so she's been like seeing these. She's been like rushing to get to Bolo and is like staring at these guys coming towards her super fast. Inga is near her, and Inga is near her, but not Tari. So I guess this will need to be repeated at some point. So she's going to like just kind of stare down these two men as they're like barreling towards her, and she's going to say to Bolo, you should go back down. Go to Tawny. He'll be able to heal you. Just, you've done so much here. Just let us take it from here, okay? You
can respond to that, Bolo, quickly.
Okay, yeah. He says, yeah, I think you're right. I'm not feeling so good.
Does he have any outward appeal? Like, is he green? Is
sure.
he like?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Green around the gills, poisoned? And of course he's also been hurt. So.
Yeah, I think actually, if there is time, like I'm just like a quick thing, like if she'd say like, were you hit with one of their arrows?
Yeah, he got me. I think it was tainted with something.
Yeah, they poisoned them. Go down to Tawny quickly, all right? You don't know what sort of effects they have. We'll hold them off here.
Okay.
So when she said that, she's got her axes and she's going to raise them up and clang them together in gleam of terror.
I was wondering when you would see that.
This, yeah.
On the top of the ridge, the sun, like with the dying gray light of this land, kind of lighting up the. Yep.
And she doesn't have to hide anymore. So as she does this, she's also going to raise her voice in a shrill and terrifying battle cry. And there are strands of her hair that are coming like loose out of her braids.
Nice.
And she's covered in blood, their blood. And she's going to do this, forcing a DC 18 wisdom saving throw from these guys.
It's like, this is your blood, your blood. I have the high ground, Anakin. This is your blood. All right. Right. Okay. So, and I'm sorry, DC which?
18.
18. Wow.
Assuming my proficiency bonus is 3. It's 15 plus proficiency bonus.
Wisdom, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they both fail.
Woohoo! That means that they are now both frightened with a capital F.
They sure look like it.
So, and I cannot remember. I'm so sorry. I wish I could remember this. I can't remember if this is a bonus action or not, or if there are two things that I want to do if possible, basically. One of them is this, and if possible, I want to do Songs of Slaying as well. But I can't remember if one of those is a bonus action.
Well, let's see. And let's mark it down. So
I want to mark it down because I always forget, and it's always like one of them is and one of them isn't.
Yeah, so let's see. Also, chat, I mentioned that this was going to be a big battle in case you're curious about, like, this was quite a serious combat. So, let's see. So Gleam of Terror is an action, not a bonus action.
Okay.
And then the other one, you said Songs of Slaying?
Yeah.
Songs of Slaying.
Page 90.
Sorry?
Page 90.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Songs of Slaying is... it doesn't say. So, Warden's Gift. When we use Warden's Gift? That is a bonus action. So Warden's Gift is a bonus action. Gleam of Terror is a regular action.
Great. Okay, no, that is an easy
We have it
distinction
marked,
to
though,
keep in
so we
mind.
remember. We have it marked.
Yes, and so she's going to use Warden's Gift. So as she's clanging her axes and raising her voice, like this voice of bladed knives and light kind of pour out of her mouth and stuff. She goes like and stuff, and
Nice.
and yeah, so that her allies within 30 feet each gain a D4 to add to their attacks or their damage.
Nice. Yeah, this
so-
Songs of Slaying, debut album of Domi and the Dwarves. I like it. Okay.
So, and that should be, so just, yeah, I don't, probably the dwarves are too far to benefit from that, but
Right, yeah, they're too far away. But it will deal with Stone, Bolo, and Inga for sure.
great. Yeah, that's where she's at, and I'm
So that just leaves Stone. Stone can act, separately, obviously. So if you want Stone to attack
Yes.
the one that's on you or on, it's up to you.
Yeah, she's gonna go for, Stone is going to attack
Okay.
the one who is...
Won't be able to get to a flank position yet. Is going to
That's
have
okay.
to move around next turn. So
So he's gonna do bite at disadvantage.
exactly on Blood Rage records. Okay.
Shouldn't that be River and the Stones?
From the stones. So that's it.
Nice.
Oh, amazing.
That's good stuff. No, 9 is not going to get the job.
9
done,
is not gonna
unfortunately.
hit. Okay.
So, all right. Good stuff, though. All right. That brings us back up to the top. So, Inga, yeah, you've got 2 of these left. Now, these, you don't know where they're going to move yet. These guys look pretty terrified, though. At least terrified of the screaming, shrieking,
Blood-covered.
Banshee-style warrior that's right to your left.
So what did the thing do for which river did the war cry?
It's
So-
they're frightened of her.
And it's you get a D4 to
Thank you.
use
Oh, I'm
to
sorry.
attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, either to attack or for damage.
And I can apply that after I
Yeah.
rolled,
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
How far away is the goblin?
Probably, I guess the same as they were, so about 90 feet, 80, 90 feet.
Oh, he didn't run further since last time.
Well, he hasn't a chance. It was your, oh, that's true, actually. 90 plus that. No, I take that back. No, that's wrong.
Yeah.
No, he's like probably about 140 or 150 now.
Okay. And the attackers are on us now?
Yes, right next to you. Within melee range.
But super scared of me.
True.
They are frightened and will have to. I think the thing of frightened is they have to move away from me.
They can't willingly move closer to you, so, and they will have disadvantage to ability checks, and I think it's attack rolls. I'll have to look while they're within line of sight of the river.
Okay, in that case,
That's a good question, Effect Life. It's the crit hit is all that damage, and then you roll an additional D4. So it doesn't matter, because that's a die that almost is like attack plus. So yeah, it is. That's a good question, though.
am I in reach of both of these? Or just one?
Technically, yes.
What does untechnically mean?
Well, by which I mean, yeah, there's an obvious attacker right in front of you, but you could be like, go to hell, and attack the one to the left, because you're basically shoulder to shoulder with the river. So, it's up to you.
Shoulder to
No,
shoulder.
I'm wondering, would I trigger an attack of opportunity?
No, not at this range. No, you're right next to them.
Like, if I would, get away from them, that's what I'm saying. Because of, they are frightened, right? So, that's a question.
Yeah, but that's not going to affect that. That affects her, the river, not you. So they're not going to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they definitely want to move away from her, but they could still attack you theoretically.
In that case, I am going
There
to
you
use
go.
my item interaction to stow away my bow.
Okay.
And then I wanna kick one of them. Right in the shin.
Kick
Really?
one? You're not gonna swing your
No,
axe?
because if I get my axe out, I wouldn't use my action for that, and then I can't attack anymore this round. So I'm kicking it instead.
Okay.
I thought. Oh, okay. I thought you
'Cause
came
she
out
had her
with
bow.
both
You
of them.
can't.
I had my bow
She's switching
out.
up from bow to axe, so that
Okay.
takes an action to do that.
Like unless I would drop my bow on the ground.
Which you could do.
Want to do, which you will see next round why I want to do that. Don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't really know
so-
about this kick while also stowing. I'm not sure that works, Inga.
Yeah, because I'm using my item interaction to put the bow away.
Can you not just like slide your arm through the bow and take out your
No.
axe and like carry your bow on your arm?
If you want to be at disadvantage on attacks with the axe, you've got a bow flying around it.
I don't know. I've been at a
nice try though. Nice
disadvantage.
thought though. So this item interaction thing is it is an action to do that, Terry. So it's not like you get
Not rules as written, I'm pretty sure.
I don't want.
Alternately, you could
Well-
shoot this guy in the face.
Well, no, because
Yeah,
like a
but I
point
get
blank range is the other
disadvantage on
problem.
that because it's a ranged
Right.
weapon. So.
Right. I mean,
That's-
so what I'll say you can do is, this is technically going beyond the bounds of stuff, but what you could do is you could actually do what Amal just said. You could put the bow on your arm, and then it's going to be disadvantage on your attack with the axe, or you could drop the bow and use your attack. But I can't let you stow the bow, take an axe, and also take an action.
No, I'm not taking my axe out. That's what I'm saying.
No, but I'm saying you can't get an attack, Terry. That's an action, regardless of whether you're
Uh,
kicking or whether
Then
you're
I'm not attacking this round.
spitting,
Fine.
punching, or yelling at him. I mean, I guess
Then
you
I'm
could
not-
yell at him. That's a free action.
Then
Okay.
that's my turn. I'm not
All right, but you have
just putting
you
the
have
bow
it
away.
ready. So you have the bow still held though, or you just
No, I'm stowing the bow.
to get the axe. Okay, got it.
No, not.
I'm very
Yeah,
I have no idea what you're trying to
I
do.
don't understand what you're doing, Terry. You're just putting away the
problem
bow,
is
and that's
I
it.
can't put away the bow, get out my axe, and attack in one turn.
Right,
So
that's true.
So the idea was I just put away my bow and then attack unarmed.
Right, but no, an attack is an action. So if you're putting away the bow, now that you've done that, instead of doing that, you're not going to attack. You're just going to put away your bow, right?
Which
You
would
with
be
me
an
so
item
far?
interaction.
Yes, but that's an action. It's not a separate thing. So when you put away the bow, and now you have got nothing, bow or axe, you can either draw forth your axe so that next turn you can attack with the axe, or you could
So
keep...
drawing a weapon does not take an action? That's
No,
what-
not if you're not unless you're switching them up. If you're switching from bow to axe, then that's going to take an action. If you're switching from axe to bow, that's going to take an action. If you're just dropping your bow and just grabbing your axe and doing it, that's fine. Then you can attack with it.
That makes no fucking sense.
This is multi-weapon user problems. I'm like, I've just got axes. I'm always gonna use
So you
them.
are saying I could put away my bow, get out my axe and attack, but I can't put away my bow and
No,
not...
Terry. No. We
That's
got to move
like-
this along. So I'm just going to make this really quick, okay? You can
Yeah.
either put away your bow, and you have your axe there. You're not going to be able to attack with it this turn. You've switched your bow to your axe.
No, I'm
or-
not switching. That's the case.
But you can't, again, Terry, I know. You can't make a separate attack, is what I'm saying.
Wait, so
and also put away, let me finish. Also put away a bow. You can't do all those things at once. So you can
Wait,
either switch weapons, that's an action. You can attack at point blank range, which is obviously not a great idea, with your bow. Or you can drop it to the ground and attack with your axe. But you can't stow it and attack on the same turn, whether you're doing it with feet, unarmed, spitting, headbutting, or axe.
I have a question. So, like, the what is the thing you want to do there, Terry? Like, is it that you want to
I
attack
want to
this
use
guy?
my special scout ability to get running when they end their turn.
Okay,
And run after the goblin.
without triggering an attack of opportunity? Is that the
Yeah,
idea?
I don't provoke an attack of opportunity if I use that ability, but I can only use that on their turn, not on my turn.
So why do you need to put your bow away for that?
Because I want to get up my axe.
So you want to chase them with your axe in hand. Like, what is your end goal? That's what I want to understand.
My end goal is to get after the goblin and kill that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's too far though to attack with axe. He's like
Yeah.
140 feet
Yeah,
away.
but I run faster than him. That's the thing. Like, I'm assuming he has regular movement, right? He probably has 30 feet of movement, right?
He's been moving really fast.
He's
He's
mo-
been
he's
Yeah, but he's
moving-
dashing. He's dashing.
That's true.
That's why he moves faster.
That's true.
But if
Okay.
I dash after him, I will easily
You'll
catch
easily
up
catch
to him
up to him.
because
Yeah, you'll easily catch up to him, is what you're saying.
because
So-
I have 35 feet of movement.
Okay, so you just want to run after this guy. You're not actually trying to fight the people in front of you.
No, I just don't want to completely waste my turn right now. That was the thing. That's why
Okay,
I
but-
just stow my bow and do nothing else because I can't do anything else.
I mean, my question was going to be, if you wanted to attack the person in front of you, but not with your bow, could you not just hold your bow and attack the person in front of you? Like, if you
Yeah, I
wanted
want to get rid of the bow though. That's the thing.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm using like that's the main thing I want to do my turns to put away the bow, and then I was thinking, what can I do with the rest of my turn? Since I thought that was just an item interaction, I would still have my action.
I just don't know
Which I
why
don't.
you can't just drop your bow. I don't understand why you don't just drop
Because
the bow.
I want to run next, like when
That's
my
fine, but what does the
uh,
bow have to do with that? You're going to
Because
attack
then I
him with
would
your
leave
axe
my
anyway.
bow behind.
Yeah, but
you
not
could
forever.
pick it up and run with
No,
it.
I
Yeah,
can't because it's not my turn when I run.
Right, but that's fine. You can, but you could. The point is, you just got your bow. You just drop it to the ground, run to the axe. You can get it after the combat, right? Like, why do you need the bow right now?
Because I might need it later during the combat.
Okay, well,
Well, there might.
there
break
are
it,
no.
that's
It's not a
also
perfect world. You're gonna have some decision you're
But
gonna
yeah,
have to make. with it.
anyway, I am putting away my bow and that's my turn.
So that's Inga's turn. They are now going to do their thing. So the two that are frightened are indeed quite frightened. Let's see. I want to think. Yeah, they're going to try to move away. So this one is going to fall back. Now he is going to. I don't think he's going to just turn tail and run. He will try to disengage first. So he'll disengage 5 feet from you, preventing the attack of opportunity. Then he's going to turn and try to run down the slope. But obviously it's not a dash. He can only get 30 feet. So he got a total of 35 feet there. 5 feet to disengage, and then 30 feet to move down the hill.
Does disengaging from me also disengage from stone? or
Yeah,
does
the
stone-
same, because it's the same
Okay.
group, yes.
Okay.
Because you're within the 5 feet of each other. The other one is going to, I think, do the same thing. Because you're right next to Inga, he will drop back 5 feet and then is going to do the same things. They're basically going to go that way. These two, who don't really understand what's going on, probably, are going to kind of look around. And then as the goblin, as they see, is continuing to, they are going to turn and they're going to start booking it this way also. Now, they're not terrified. They're just running because it seems clear that the fight is over, or at least their side of the fight is. So they're going to start running in that direction. That's going to lead us to Tani, who is still guarding the dwarves,
Wait.
meanwhile on the other side of the ridge.
So they ended their turn, the enemies?
So they, oh yes, I'm sorry. That's correct. I'm sorry. That's right, Terry. They have ended their turn, so you can now do your scout thing.
But like, did they end their turn within 5 feet of me? Or
They
they
did
run
not
away?
end their turn within 5 feet of you, no, because they all disengaged. They're all running away.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, sorry, this did not quite work out the way you intended, I know. Tani, you're
So
on the
wait,
other side
I
of
mean,
the
if
ridge.
you on your turn, then could you for my own understanding, if you wanted to, you could pull out your bow and shoot them
That's
on
right,
my
yeah,
turn.
technically.
But
on
not
your
now.
turn,
On your
if you
turn.
wanted to. Okay.
Yeah,
But
but
not
she
now.
wanted to do it on their turn. I know what you were going for. I just don't think the circumstances are going to set up for that. So, Tani,
Same thing.
same thing, just sort of hanging there, arms resting on Lilimon, so to speak. Okay, that's going to lead us to the dwarves. They are digging away. I've already described that. They're actually moving quite quickly, Tani. They'd already done a lot of work already, so they're getting down to the bottom of those stairs. Bolo, that brings us to you. What do you want to do? You can see that the enemy is in retreat.
Yeah, I head back down towards Tani.
Okay.
And-
You can, if you move,
I
if
don't
you
know if I
double
can
move,
get
you
there.
can get back to like
Yeah.
pretty close, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. I get nearby and I say, Tani, I'm not feeling so good.
And indeed, he does not, Tani. He looks kind of green around the gills.
Well,
So-
for one thing, you've got gills. That's just not normal.
There's all kinds of green around them.
Okay. Then, so you do that, and the goblin is continuing to race away, and that's going to lead us to the river.
Oh, I started hearing an echo there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
sometimes.
we've got River and Stone. You are up next. So, what do you want to do, River? They are running. The entire enemy group is running from you now.
Okay. I mean, if they are in retreat, yeah. I mean, I don't think she's gonna pursue them. She's gonna make sure that they are heading. So I mean, to make sure, the goblin is now like 170 feet away,
Something like that. Yeah.
And the two frightened guys are about 35 feet away.
That's right. And are making their way speedily away from
Down.
Okay,
Can you put a spider tracker on them?
you. That would be very useful.
That would be useful. Yes.
Um.
That spider
Okay.
that I could do that with.
Yep.
That's my next goal during the fellowship phase is to find a spider and launch onto somebody,
Make it a tracker.
and he'll leave a trail, a web.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I think I mean, I think if they are in retreat, she's just gonna let them go, and like essentially she's gonna watch them retreat until like they are specks in the distance.
Right. And I was going to say, if you're going to do that, since you were at the end of the combat round, I'm going to take us out of initiative if the party is generally in favor of that. Now, if Inga doesn't, I don't want to just assume Inga's going to do that, though. If
Right.
Inga wants to, like, grab a bow and fire, then that's something that could continue in sort of initiative order. But otherwise, if everyone's just making their way out, I'm going to assume that, because they are clearly not coming back for the moment. They are on their way away.
Right.
Inga would go after the goblin.
Okay. So, so then I would say
Like
River and
running.
Stone. Yeah, no, I got you. River and Stone, I would say then that so you can let them go, and then what do you want to do then on your turn? I would say River.
I mean, so she's gonna see them go. I think she's gonna sense like, Inga is at her side, right? So, I think that she's gonna watch them. Her shoulders are gonna kind of slump a little bit, and she's going to turn to Inga and just say, I think that's that. I think we should head down to see the progress the others are making. And like River is clearly exhausted and stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna let her go. I'm not gonna let them get away.
Why? They're in retreat. They're in the waste. We can just. There's something more important here. We have to get Domi back to Dale. Remembering. But where did we come from again?
Well, we should at least catch one of them to, question him.
He's awfully far away.
Not too far, and thus she runs.
All right. All right.
Beep,
Beep, beep, zip, bang.
This is all happening because the two of you are actually right after each other in initiative order. So you're just sort of like this, and Inga's like, sounds good. See ya. Running down the hill.
I mean, okay. The thing is that, like, I mean, if the River knows that, like, the cutthroats are, like, scared of her and stuff,
It's true.
then, but I don't think she would let, like, Inga just kind of go alone after the goblin is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, so, I'm struggling to reconcile, like, me player stuff with River player stuff and what Tari wants to do, because I don't understand.
Though, like, before the combat started, like last time, Inga said she was really looking forward to punching an orc.
Mm.
And she has not yet gotten to punch an orc.
They all punched the orcs for you before you got there.
Yeah.
So, Inga seems really into punching this guy right now.
Yeah, and River is unfortunately not in a condition to be persuasive to anyone. So she's just exhausted. She is like not mechanically, but spiritually, very exhausted and unhappy and miserable. So.
Let me ask you this though: would you be going River after? Would you be going after? If you're going to do anything, you'd either go back to the camp or you'd go after Inga directly, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay. Because the way I want to handle this is because we're also way over time, and I need to wrap this session. So what I'm going to say is that these guys are already frightened of you. So they are like the two down here, and the other two are running because apparently the jig is up. So they're on their way there. Meanwhile, the goblin is the problem. So I think that we're all dealing with. So what I would say is I'm going to take us out of initiative for the moment. And as you are sort of making your way up to let me just put the okay, there we go. As you're making your way to the goblin, I would say, River, you're trailing this a little bit. So you can see as Inga's like running up on the goblin. And as you pointed out, Inga, you can in fact catch up with the goblin because you're able to run faster. So I would say, given about 30 seconds to a minute or so, Bolo is starting to feel better. The poison is passing from his system. The dwarves are basically, pickaxing away. Probably Tani and Bolo are both wondering what the hell happened to River and Inga at this point, and Stone. And trailing this, I think you can see, River, that Inga has sort of closed on the goblin. And the goblin, which is sort of limping away, with a snarl, turns and something flashes in his hand. And let's see, is going to get that is going to be a 17 to hit, Inga.
No.
So this jagged knife sort of turns and you kind of snaps on your armor, Inga. And now you're there on top of it, so you can now grab him or attack him or punch him or do whatever you want to, because he basically, this was his like exhausted attempt to hit you.
I guess it would be like trying to knock him out, lock him unconscious, and then tie him up.
Okay, let me have you make an attack then. I'm going to be making an attack, but we're going to aim for non-lethal damage here. I think an unarmed attack, though, because we don't want to do this with, like, your axe.
That's a strength check.
Right. You'd rather not kill him, would be the idea.
Yeah, and he is a goblin, yeah?
Yes, he is indeed a goblin.
Cool, I get advantage on that one.
Yep.
Hey! Hooray!
Hooray!
All right. Okay, yeah, that's how I was like, wait, what? Oh, yes. Okay, good. So go ahead and roll in quotes the damage, which would be, oh, God, unarmed is probably...
1d4 plus strength.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And you do have your extra d4 that you haven't used yet.
It's true. So you could
so
use
like
those both in
non-lethal
damage.
means that I cannot kill him with this one, right?
Right.
1d4 plus
so
strength,
you hope.
yeah?
No, just kidding. Right.
So that is 3. Is this one guaranteed to knock him out, or do I need to make enough damage for that?
You have to make enough damage, but he's pretty badly
okay,
hurt.
then I use a d4 from River. So that is 5.
You'll be happy to know that he had 5, and so
Teamwork!
so he kind of
Finally worked out in the end.
he kind of he slumps to the ground, and as he's like, you don't know what you're dealing with. And as he falls to the ground, and Inga, panting, stands over his unconscious form. Meanwhile, back at the site, Bolo, as you're feeling better, and Tani, you're standing there. Domi says, Finally, here. And at the bottom of the stairs, Tani and Bolo, you can both see that the dwarves have indeed unearthed what looks like at the bottom of the stairs a stone door. There are 4 rope knots that are held by wax seals around them. And it's set into a dark gray wall. And as Domi gets down excitedly, he kind of almost like jumps 2 steps at a time. He almost looks like he's been brought back in years that he's finally gotten through to this thing. And he gets to the bottom and he points at the seals and he says, These are the sigil of Jirian, Lord of Dale. And he pushes, and the seals just crumple, just crack under, from age. And the door opens, and dust flows from the inside of the tomb. And that is where we will bring our session to a close. So, very, very busy, very kind of busy session. And I will go back and I'm going to try to clarify at some point with Terry about stuff, but I don't have time to do it right now. So,
Rules as written, I was right, by the way. I looked it up.
yeah, but I don't always do
Yeah.
rules as written though.
Yeah, I know, but you need to like say that then in that moment. It's like,
Yeah, I'm gonna come back. I think that we're talking past each other a little bit, so I'm going to do that at a later point, but not now. I did, however, enjoy watching these folks do what they do, and I want to jump through and let them. We had not only this big combat with multiple sort of facets going on at the same time, but also figuring out, because I think the original plan, as you said, was we do this and we get the dwarves away until the dwarves are like, but no, we need to find what's there. And you're like, oh, crap. Like it's always the archaeologist that you can't trust. So now we're going to have to see what happens. Yeah, exactly. So you're going to deal with that. But it was good to see that happen, and this means that next session will not be about combat, presumably, but it will be about finding out what is in this tomb and what is going on with Domi and what is all this stuff. We will see what happens. I will start as per usual. What is going on with all this stuff? So I will start as per usual with Amal. Obviously, the river had quite a bit of stuff to deal with in terms of that combat. Got smacked around quite a bit, either through healing by Tani or through or the guys that were doing the damage. And as I said, they certainly do hit like a truck. But I also thought that thing that happened at the end, which was really important, which was the moment with the gleam, the gleam of terror and all that definitely changed things as well, because otherwise you would have had to been dealing with them, certainly wouldn't have caught up with the goblins at that point, with the goblin there. And also meant that you had taken some damage already, and 4 more of these guys, although they were hurt, I think you would have probably defeated them in the end, but it would have been rough. So the Gleam of Terror was, and plus the Songs of Slaying too, actually, was a helpful way to kind of wrap this up. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the lovely folks find you next?
It was great. I had some trepidation going in because, I knew that they were, we'd successfully gotten them to like fight each other and stuff, but I had no idea how long that was going to last and whether it was like a preset number of rounds or what was going to happen there. So the fact that they literally obliterated each other was so genuinely unexpected to me, and I'm really glad because those guys were so hard to fight, and the fact that they kind of exploded on death in terms of like
didn't
dealing
help they kept
more
missing
damage.
you too. It would have been worse if they hadn't missed all the time. Yeah.
Seriously, like this was, I was trepidatious going in because, going into a battle at disadvantage sucks. Though, it worked out okay. And I was really glad that like the flanking with Stone, I like that narratively it makes a lot of sense that, neither of them can access like the full height of like their working together, but they can mitigate each other's misery by just falling into patterns. I really like that. But anyway, I was really happy with how it came together. I super loved Bolo in particular, just like having his own slice of like really important battle stuff to do in a way that he's particularly well suited for and stuff. Because otherwise there was a scenario where that like little sniper guy was just going to like poison all of us and have everything be really bad.
He could have tried with Inga. He could have tried. And
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It would have been hard for the Inga. That's true.
So yeah, no, I super loved that. I super loved Tawny's like, tough love healing and stuff. I think that's fantastic narratively. Like the idea that we all have to kind of brace against Tawny healing us.
You want the poultice to work, look.
So I really like that. And
it's like deep tissue massage, right? Like just
yeah, exactly. It's like it's gonna heal you, but it's gonna leave a bruise. But yeah, I super liked all of that, and I was extremely gratified that Songs of Slaying resulted in the like 2 requisite points required to just knock that guy out. That was extremely beautiful. So very glad of that. And so just I continued. I know I said this last time, but it was a while ago. I continue to be like just awed and delighted by the mechanics of this game and how something like Miserable can be in effect, but it doesn't totally take out a character the way being miserable does not necessarily. That you still function grimly, miserably and stuff. And the fact that there are things like theme of terror and her ability to inspire others that are not actually impaired in the same way. So that still continues to feel really satisfying. Places where people can see me next. What a good question. Probably here next week. But otherwise, signing up to my newsletter at amalmahtar.com is the best way to keep up with my doings and stuff. I'm on Twitter for my sins at Tithanai. And that's basically me.
Good stuff, Mal. Thank you. Always a pleasure. And moving right on up the line, as I drop everything, moving right on up the line. So Terry, and I found this. I'm going to drop this link for you in Discord. On page 193 of the Player's Handbook, using an object is an action. So when you use an object like switching weapons or stowing away your bow, that uses an action. That means you cannot do an additional action. So that was the point that I was making if you were going to stow your bow. Dropping it is almost like a bonus action, but stowing it is an action. It's not a bonus action. So that's what I found. That was what I was talking about. That was 193
Page
of
are
the
you
Player's
on?
Handbook.
193, okay.
Page 193.
190, on the other hand, you can turn. Your turn can include a variety of flourishes that require neither your action nor your move. You can communicate however you are able through brief utterances and gestures.
Right.
You can also interact with one object or feature of the environment for free during either your move or your action.
This is on page 90 of the Player's Handbook, you're saying?
190
Oh,
at
190.
the very top left.
190.
Also, there is a tweet by Jeremy Crawford where he clarifies it. That does indeed include
Oh, like he
stowing
knows.
weapons.
So
Anyway,
you can interact with one object.
like I don't mind that this didn't
But
work.
okay, that's
just
fascinating
like,
though, because that's fair. But that's fascinating though. Well, first of all, it does say the DM might require you to use an action for any of these activities when it needs special care. So technically, I do have discretion there. But the thing is that literally is in contradiction with what I just read from use an object, which is on the next page. So I don't think you're wrong, Terry. But I was going from 193 use an object, and you were talking about the same thing on 190. Those are in contradiction with each other. Like, I mean, the use an object is an action on 193. So your version of using, like, doing flourishes or interacting with one object or feature of the environment for free, that for free is not the same thing as what they say on literally 2 pages later on 193. So we're both right.
And you guys can debate this more later.
Right. Yeah. But that just, it was
like,
not
just
coming
to be
out
clear,
of some
like,
insane.
I don't mind that you rule it that way. I'm just like,
right, but
okay,
I'm saying
like,
it's not just me making something up. This is something which is coming from also the PHB. So I will try to find a way to clarify it so we can both be happy in the end, because I want.
Well, I mean, in
obviously,
the end, it didn't matter anyway.
Yeah, no, but I want to
They
make sure
ran
that we're
away,
clear
which
for
I did
next
not,
time.
expect for them because
But
they
we-
No,
had
I mean,
to run away.
it did matter in the sense narratively. Like, it created, like, a different scenario and stuff. I think it's worth bringing that up to the handbook people as well, that there's that contradiction. But I'm
Yeah.
also happy for, like, house rule
Yeah,
to be clarified.
I can
like,
house
the way
rule
that
it now
you-
that I know of it, but it honestly
Yeah.
wasn't even really a house rule. It was going off of 193, and Terry was quite rightly going off on 190. So we were
And it
both
may
right.
well have been corrected in errata as well.
That's true too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's possible.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway,
And
so
let's hope they will clarify it in 5.5.
So having said all of that, that's true. I imagine, and I'll double check on it in the meantime, to see if I can find it outside of the PHB and we can get some clarification. I would be inclined to. I'll figure something out house rule wise in the meantime, clarify it. So regardless of that, beyond that, you did get a chance to not only knock out that goblin, but you were dealing with many of these cutthroat
Got
dudes
to knock out Gollum?
on you.
Nice.
I wish that would have been even cooler. But anyway, you did have the
Well,
chance
I
to
hope not, because
knock
that
out.
would like fuck up the end.
That's true, that would change up the
Return of
timeline.
King.
But so you were able to deal with the cutthroats that you were dealing with, and obviously did get some damage when you hit them. Got some damage on them also. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now that you've knocked this goblin out, and you see what you do with him next.
Yes.
How did you feel about today, other than the rules discussion?
Well,
and,
it happens. Like, for anybody watching who's like not super familiar with like playing, this shit just happens sometimes.
Oh, yeah,
You get
absolutely.
over it.
Yep.
Anyway, yes. Aside from that, a lot of fun, and I can't wait for the next session. Which do we have a date for that yet?
Next week.
Next
I
week?
believe it's next week. Yeah.
Awesome. very good. But yeah, aside from that, people can find me here on like Tuesdays, one or another, like either for this or for gamebook illustration streams where we play old choose your own adventure books where you guys get to vote on what we do in the game, and I draw
Phantoms
what
of
happens.
Fear was good. It was a really
Phantoms
good
of
time.
Fear,
Yeah.
yes, a fighting fantasy book. I mean, I have my sketchbook here, so I can like show people like some stuff that I did for them. Need to correct, like here, for example, is one of the things I did for the live stream.
It was
I don't
slick.
know if that shows properly. Or here's our player characters who I designed. But yeah, anywho, yeah, you can find me here like Tuesday at the same time. And aside from that, people can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at TariTweets. So give me follow, give follow, blogs. So yeah, I post art there and other things sometimes.
It's true, and you should do all those things. Thank you, Terry. Always a pleasure. And that leads us right on to one Mr. Brad Bollier. Good stuff today, Brad. Bolo. I mean, really, Bolo and the Goblin were off in their own like sort of their own sub battle, right? Like they're sort of attacking each other, and the Goblin wasn't planning on doing that. One of the things that really helped, I think, was because Bolo kept was constantly like a thorn in the side of this goblin. It meant that he really wasn't able to do what Amal said might happen, which is just like poisoning everybody. Instead, the goblin's like, won't you stop? So you had like stealth versus stealth battle of Bolo versus the goblin. And of course, Bolo was the first one to see the carnage going on the other side of the ridge. So be interesting to see what happens now that we have an area of going underground again. Not so good, but there's treasure, maybe better. So how'd you feel about today's session, Brad? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, it was good. As we got into the combat and the goblin started coming up and sort of sniping and stuff, my mind went immediately to the movie Sniper from the early 90s with Billy Zane and Tom Berenger. They're on this mission in Panama to knock off some drug lord, I think. And they eventually get into a situation where like they're both hunting each other.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And so they're kind of moving around, slowly in ghillie suits and stuff, and trying to get each other. So that's where my mind went, like me and the goblin trying to stealth each other out and stuff.
Yep.
It was kind of fun.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was cool, and I'm even though Bolo is going to be under some duress as we go underground and stuff, I'm really curious to have sort of I don't know if it'll be a dungeon crawl type thing, but like an underground adventure. I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Good stuff. And where can the fine folks find you, Brad?
Yeah, nothing
Besides
much
here.
going on before next week. But I should have most of my office done by then, so that'll be cool. I'll be all settled in. So I'll see you guys in a week.
Awesome. Thank you, Brad. Good stuff as always. And last but certainly not least, despite your tiredness, as it turned out, Tren, we were able to keep, Tani was actually having, what is Legolas's line? Or Gimli's, it's been Legolas, it's been knife work down here during the Battle of Helm's Deep. So like there was a lot of that going on, staff time in your case, but you had people right on top of you the whole time, and they were nasty. And so you had a lot to occupy yourself with. And then of course, smacking the heck out of the river to heal her, which is I guess the way that works.
Still very funny to me.
How did you feel? I just had the image of you not even looking in his direction, being like, bam, you're like, ow, oh, that actually, thank you. But ow, though, somehow.
That vertebrae's been out of position for a while.
Yeah, exactly. It really is.
That's a lot better.
Exactly. How'd you feel about today, Trent? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Love that people see me here next week.
That's it? That's good? That's it? That's all?
You have got places to go.
I got places to go. It's true. Thank you very much to my wonderful players. We will see you back here next week. Chat, can we get some love for the amazing Trent Sparks, Brad Bollier, Terry Toons, and Amal Omatar. Bye, friends. I will see you next week.
Bye.
Take care. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
All righty. So that is going to do it for that, but I have now got to head over and play some Talisman Adventures, which is going to be happening pretty much just right about now, or close to right about now. I got to go over and transition that way. I was not expecting that we were going to have a big rules back and forth and all that other kind of stuff, which took a little bit extra time, but that's fine. We'll make it work. It's not a problem. I'm not concerned about it, but it means that it took us a little extra time that I did not plan. So if you liked what you saw and heard, I would ask you please to follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube, our Discord with !ArvCord, Twitter is !ArvTweets, website is arvanellarun.com, financially is !ArvShop, !ArvTreon is the Patreon, where you can support the channel that way. That really makes a difference, as does subbing to the channel. That also gives you a lot of stuff that helps the channel too. On the publishing side, Icarus is my Icarus graphic novel from Athos Arts. Library is Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure in sourcebook. And Greyshade KS is for my Greyshade Kickstarter. More details about that coming soon. Also, as always, BLM, Black Lives Matter, very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. And Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others when you need help and to reach out to others when they need help as well. I want to thank the wonderful people who made this an awesome stream. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Rudenel, Terry Toons, Triffity Metz. Always a pleasure. Thank you, and great job as always. Thank you as well to my subscribers and my supporters on Patreon. Thank you to Rudenel, Terry Toons, Triffity Metz, Echo Alpha X5, Effect Life, Amal, Elmatar, Garlic Tofu, Trendane, and Big Boss. Always a pleasure as well to have my viewers. Cherizy, thank you to Chenrizy, I mean. Thank you to Arabs, to Errants, to Jagtress, Lily Wedwolf. Thank you to Littler USA. Thank you to Live Suing. Thank you to Lori Pub. Thank you to Major Makoto. Thank you to Nonstop. Thank you to Radic Ronnie. Nonstop also is a subscriber and a Patreon supporter, so I don't know why they never put him in there. But anyway, thanks, Nonstop. Thank you to the Son of God. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by and honoring me with your presence. Thank you to Spike Trap. Thank you to you, Christensen, VNK. Thank you to XYDM, and thank you to Yitzhak Shamir. And most of all, thanks tonight to my players, to Amal Elmatar, to Trendane, to Brad, and to Terry for being awesome. And we will see more of them next week with more Adventures in Middle-earth. Again, on this channel tomorrow, Wednesday evening, for Community D&D with Dragon of Icespire Peak with the Shadow Crew. But tonight, or right now anyway, within the next 10 minutes, we're going to be over on GOG with some D&D with some Talisman Adventures sponsored by Pegasus Spiele. I'll see you over there in a little bit. Thanks, everybody, and much love. I'll see you folks soon. Bye for now, and be good to each other.